What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Nextbase. It's the world's leading dash cam brand. You've seen those crazy Russian dash cam videos. You know the power of a dash cam, whether it's fighting a lawsuit, showing your friends something unbelievable, or going viral on the internet. A dash cam is one of the easiest ways to capture the crazy things that happen on the road. Nextbase is more than just a dash cam. Their Series 2 range includes 5 models packed with exciting features like 1440p resolution, an IPS touchscreen, intelligent parking mode, which is sort of like a security camera when your car is left turned off, rear camera options, both inside the car and outside the car, and an option to alert emergency services if you have a crash or if there's a real big issue. Get peace of mind while you drive with Nextbase, now available at Best Buy stores nationwide, in the US and Canada at bestbuy.com, and on Amazon. Listeners of the Smoking Tire get 20% off all Nextbase dash cams on Amazon by using the code 20SMOKING. That's 20SMOKING. 20SMOKING. Nextbase dash cams are the jam. Get them while they hot. 20SMOKING is the code on Amazon. How about Autotempest.com? They help you save time and therefore save money. That's if your time is worth any money, and presumably it is. When you're looking for a car, you have the option to do double, triple, quadruple, or quintuple work by searching the same information for the same types of car in dozens of different car sites. Here's what Autotempest does. They bring it all together, folks. They bring it all together. You type in your search request into Autotempest, it looks on the whole internet for you, and it looks on all those like random smaller sites that you might not even think of but totally exist, compares those results to AutoTrader and Craigslist nationally, and we're talking about sites like Cars.com, eBay Motors, and on and on and on, and it does all that with just a couple of keystrokes and one click. You don't have to do it over and over. Whether you're just scouting the market to see what's out there or actually looking to buy or sell your car, Autotempest.com will help you gauge the market easily and quickly, saving you time and money. That's Autotempest.com. Last but certainly not least, it's the Brio Beardscape. You know what's up. Just about every guy I know owns a trimmer. You know, the battery-powered or plug-in buzzer that trims your hair. Just about every guy's had a bad experience with a bad trimmer. Either the blades get dull really fast, they start pulling hairs, they're loud, the motor dies, or the battery just stops holding a charge. If that sounds familiar, it's time to upgrade to the Beardscape. I've been using the Brio Beardscape about once a week for over a year now, and I have only charged it one time. The battery really does last that long. It lasted me a full year of use, like probably 50 full shaves. The Brio Beardscape is perfect for trimming your face, head, or general manscaping. One of the reasons it cuts better is because it has a ceramic blade that's extremely sharp and stays sharper longer than stainless steel. Also, it is quiet and powerful, like a Tesla. Guys, it may be time for you to upgrade to the Brio Beardscape. Go to Brio4Life.com. That is Brio, the number 4life.com, and use code SMOKING at checkout for the best price on the internets. Brio4life.com/smoking. And we got to talk about Blue Driver, the pro scan tool. So your check engine light comes on. What do you do? Like speed, right? Step 1, get a Blue Driver Pro scan tool. Blue Driver can read all the computer systems in your vehicle, tell you what the problem is, and suggest solutions from a database of millions of ASE verified fixes. Then you can fix the problem yourself or head to the garage armed with knowledge. Either way, you're in control. Plus, Blue Driver can do so much more than read codes. View live data from your vehicle, read freeze frame in mode 6, do a smog check, stay up to date on recalls and service bulletins, and so much more. That's why Blue Driver is the best-selling scan tool on Amazon. Don't just take our word for it. Check out the thousands of positive reviews written by real people who've saved a ton of time and money by using Blue Driver. For a limited time, take advantage of our special special smoking tire offer. Visit bluedriver.com/TST. That's bluedriver.com/TST to get 10% off the Blue Driver Pro Scan Tool. Don't let your car troubles be a mystery again. Get Blue Driver today. That's bluedriver.com/TST. All right, folks, on this episode of the show, Jonny Lieberman is back in studio. He was at Pebble Beach, so we're talking about all that craziness. He was driving vintage 90s supercars like the Diablo SV and the Bugatti EB110. We're talking about that, and we're talking about a bunch of other stuff. It's the Smoking Tire Podcast.
I have tried to get into cigars so many times. Fucking failed at it every single time. Just not good at cigars.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think
you know
your
dad is super into them.
My dad's real into them. I think it's because I smoked cigarettes for 10 years. I think I can't go back. Like, I can smoke weed, but like you inhale that. You know, every time I smoke a cigar, I inevitably drift off to some mental place and take a big old inhale of the cigar. I feel like I'm going to die.
I smoked cigarettes for, since I was 14, over 20 years.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I don't know if when
bad.
did you stop?
Oh, we used to
Did we used to have grits together?
Yeah. I stopped probably 4 or 5 years ago because I started smoking cigars. And after that, it's like, oh, cigarettes taste terrible. Like, all this time, I've been smoking disgusting tobacco.
Yeah.
When there's this beautiful tobacco out there, and I went through a period where I was doing like 2 cigars a day.
I remember you went you went hard in the paint.
Yeah. And now it's like 1 a month.
Like that episode of Seinfeld where Kramer turns to like leather.
Yeah. That was me for about a year.
Yeah.
My wife, her first year of law school, she like moved out of the house and was living at school, and I was just by myself. Like, I'd sit on the front porch and like watch TV through the door and smoke cigars. It was ridiculous.
It's the cigar thing. Like, I want to be into it like so bad. All the elements are there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cars, watches, whiskey, cigar. Like, it's all a part of a package. I just can't. And I really like smelling them.
They're delicious.
Yeah. And I like being in, like, I'm building a fucking cigar lounge.
Oh,
I probably won't even have a cigar.
I was like, I got a box of cigars today from my cigar dealer in Texas. And
are you on like the Facebook groups, like with the booze and shit too?
I used to be. Cigars is kind of weird. So like, everyone's really super into Cubans. Like, it's like, you know, if you get really into, I don't know, cars, you wind up with a 911.
Porsches or Rolexes or whatever, the gold standards.
Yeah. And like, I like Cuban cigars. My problem with Cuban cigars, and just to go totally off the rails here, is that you'll buy this wonderful $500 box of cigars and like 5 of them are shit. They just don't work.
Huh.
Just because
QC?
There's no quality in Cuba. It's just
it's
still a really poor, backwards country, you know, run by horrible people.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Nicaraguan brands where the factories are awesome. American-owned companies, Tatuaje. So Pete Johnson, who he used to be the head of cigars at the Grand Havana Club in Beverly Hills, and he's covered in tattoos. So Tatuaje, Spanish for cigar. Super cool guy. Yeah, that's what he looks like now.
That's an old picture. Okay, cool.
That's
all right.
Yeah.
He looks more normal now.
Yeah. I think he has a beard now. But anyhow, I think makes the best cigars in the world. So anyways, I got my giant box of Tatuajes, and in my head, I'm like, dude, I wish Matt's place was done so we could do a podcast.
We will. No, we will soon.
I know.
Probably the next time after this that you come on the show.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna be done. We're gonna be ready to be in like probably November, I think.
No, okay, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, rad.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I'll miss this place, obviously.
There'll be elements we're bringing over. You fucking shit down over there. You all right? So my friend Asher Israelo, who I went to high school with,
couldn't be a more Jewish name.
It's a super Jewy name.
Jewy McJewy.
And Asher Israelo makes this furniture.
Oh, beautiful.
And he's one of my really good friends from high school.
Oh, my
And he
Lord.
makes this fucking incredible. Look at this table.
Wow.
So this table? This is a brass inlay.
Oh, I know exactly, yeah.
So he wants to make me the podcast table with the racetrack of my choice brass inlaid into it. And get this, my parents are moving, and they bought a property in the middle of the woods in Greenwich. Mm-hmm. And on the property were 2 giant black walnut trees. that they had to take down.
Okay.
And these are like really dope trees. So we're going to make a table with that black walnut that Asher's going to make for me. So I think
what track? That's the only question.
Well, I mean, the obvious one is Nürburgring, but I'd have an aneurysm trying to make that in brass. I told him I went with Laguna.
Yeah,
Laguna is a good gold standard for that.
I'd say that's my third favorite track.
What are your top two?
Ring,
obviously Spa,
yeah, and then Laguna. Laguna's just it's weird how good it is for a track with like almost like barely really 9 corners.
Bro, it's all about elevation. Elevation can make a good track great and a great track the best.
Yeah, but it's also what I like about it, even though it has tons of braking zones, there's no throwaway corners. Tons of tracks have like they stop your flow.
Yeah,
especially modern tracks, especially like anything that's MotoGP or F1.
Yeah, there's like just a chicane or something. And like,
just where you just throw the corner away, you basically get the car into like almost first gear.
Yeah,
like Laguna, you really maybe turn 2 second, but really you could stay in third in most modern cars, and it just flows.
Yeah,
even though you're destroying the brakes because of the elevation.
It's a really
it's a
like a
track.
lap is really fun. I mean, some tracks are just more fun than others, and a lap of Laguna is as close to roller coastery as you're going to find on a racetrack.
There's no
you ever drive Bilsterberg in Germany?
I've sat in the passenger seat.
It's incredibly wonky and crazy. And remember when we went to Volvo, the Knutsstorp?
Oh God,
in Sweden,
the worst track in Sweden,
the weirdest track in Sweden. That I can't believe.
I love that you remember the name. I couldn't for a million.
Knutsstorp. How do you forget that?
I have no idea. But I remember Justin Bell was like, "Oh yeah, I drove that track."
Yeah, he like raced there, right? They raced like BTCC or whatever they do there.
That's cool though. That's great. Good table. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm excited. The new studio is going to be really cool. I hope Asher. I hope it doesn't take too long because we have to use this shite table temporarily until it's done.
This is not that bad of a table.
Yeah, no. But the room itself is so nice. Like, we actually, when you're building from the ground up, like, the walls are insulated. So, like, it's going to have, like,
soundproof.
It's a soundproof fucking room. Yeah.
You're going to lose the beautiful maroon curtain.
These curtains.
I remember when there weren't curtains.
Well, it's way better than when there wasn't curtains because on the other side of the curtains is fucking windows.
No, I remember. I remember. What's his face? Dude sat right there. He's like, "You should just hang curtains." He's like an audio engineer, and you're like, "Oh, curtains.
Genius, genius." Yeah, we're gonna. It's gonna be cool over there. I'm excited.
Cool.
What have you been up to? Pebble. I saw the dispatches.
Big. I mean, basically.
To find out what Johnny's been up to, follow him on the gram.
Yeah, Instagram's good. Honestly, the Davey Johnson death kind of knocked me.
You haven't been here
one.
since then, have you?
No. That sort of threw me for a real loop. I've been working. So what I'm doing is I set up a nonprofit. Just got incorporated on Friday. I got the paperwork back.
All right, congratulations.
Yeah, 501c3 tax exempt status. So we're setting up a scholarship. In Davey's memory, it's called the Davey G. Johnson Memorial Scholarship for non-SEO writing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Did you come up with that?
I did.
That's very good.
Thank you.
For non-SEO.
I had to throw that in there because, like, if you knew Davey.
No, it's perfect. It's really good. I'm like, is there a thing on your gram for it? Well, here's Davey. We found Davey.
Yeah, not.
Bad choice of words there. Sorry.
There's a T-shirt we did. So I did a T-shirt.
I liked the shirt.
Yeah,
the shirt was very cool.
So that was his cousin. I met her actually at his funeral. His cousin Lee. She's a T-shirt designer by trade.
How perfect.
Yeah, and she told this great story about how when she was in graphic design school, she had to make a stamp, and it had to be like anti-establishment stamp, and she was really just like couldn't come up with anything. So Davey was like 10 years older, so she went to his apartment. And he's like, Sid Vicious, so like she made this Sid Vicious stamp with him and like put safety pins through it or something and like a heroin needle. And she won, but she won this like competition for the stamp. But then like they're like, oh, because there's a drug reference, like you can't actually make it. So she never made it. So we were gonna do that for the shirt.
Is that gonna be? That's not the actual shirt though.
No, the shirt is him riding a motorcycle.
Yeah,
it's on there somewhere.
I'll keep going. I'll find it.
Yeah, so the
Is the
man.
next one going to be the heroin, the Sid Vicious?
There
Oh,
it
here it
is.
is.
We
This
might.
is actually, I mean, a really good, independent of the fact that it's a good story behind it.
Yeah.
It's actually a really nice shirt.
It is. I forgot
Yeah.
to order one, of course.
I was on the road, and then I saw Spinelli wearing one. I was like, "Fuck!"
it was like I got it going.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we have to get another run of them, I
Yeah,
think, for
yeah.
people who forgot.
Oh, totally. There's already been people, because everyone's posting pictures of them wearing it. Everyone's like, where do I get it? But
Yeah.
we'll do that. But so basically, Blip Shift was super cool. They're like, look, we'll donate all the money to this nonprofit once you get it up and running. He was working on a book when he died called The Man in the Golden Helmet that was about California. And, it was just about riding around. I don't know what it was about because no one can get into his laptop. But anyways.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a Mac, so it's like unhackable. You know?
Oh, what a bummer.
Yeah. So, anyways.
No copies to the literary agent or anything?
I don't think there was a literary. I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
On top of all the other terrible, frustrating things.
And who knows how much if he got past the title. I have no idea. But
You should write the movie.
well, the creepy part is that he actually got this helmet, but he never saw the helmet. It showed up like after he died. So like at his funeral.
Wow, they had the helmet.
The helmet was there, and it's based on, you know how in Easy Rider Jack Nicholson wore a Notre Dame football helmet?
Yeah.
So the helmet, the color scheme is based on that, but it was an actual helmet that looked just like this. And
Pretty bitchin' helmet.
yeah, it was super cool. It was super cool. And like, so this is what I've been like, my mental kind of, I don't know, juices have been working on that. But yeah, Pebble was crazy. Crazy good, actually. What else is going on? Pieck died.
Yeah, like an hour ago.
Yeah, that's the craziest thing. So we can get into all that. But I brought whiskey. We should get into
Should we try? Let's get into that.
Okay, so I always try and bring good stuff.
Yeah.
Willet, which we've had on the show before.
Oh, yeah.
This is barrel 1200.
The really good shit that you left last time, I made it last until like a couple weeks ago.
That was good.
And it was fucking good.
This should be better.
All right. Well, I've washed out the mugs.
Okay.
You're keeping it
Ooh, I got the
classy.
Joe Rogan mug. And
Yeah.
You got Beeline coffee.
I have
Perfect.
unfortunately now defunct.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, they went out of business, and what's happened since is I've had 5 or 6 different companies send me samples in a pitch effort.
Yeah.
So I'm working my way through them. I actually have quite a lot of coffee sitting at home. Oh, this is exciting. Thank you, sir.
So
wow,
this
it's
is-
dark. It's dark in color on this white mug.
Yeah, so this is 13 years old, I want to say, and it's about...
Fuck, that smells good.
It's really good. I got more, too.
Where'd you find this?
Will it? I mean, it's,
Can normal people buy this,
No,
or do you have to
no.
be someone special to buy this?
You'll probably never, ever find another bottle of 1200.
Awesome.
Because there's probably...
Well, thank you for the opportunity now.
I threw the bottle out, but there's probably...
Holy shit, yeah. Smooth,
Smooth, but also like, what a flavor.
What is the aftertaste? I just got a very unique aftertaste. I don't believe I've had
to me,
before.
it's just like caramel and vanilla. Just shockingly
ultra
sweet.
vanilla.
Yeah.
Ultra vanilla.
Yeah. It's like real vanilla.
real hard
like
vanilla.
Like if you pull out the vanilla bean. Yeah.
That is delightful.
No,
Here's I want to need the water sip.
Yeah.
To get a,
But so you can get teenaged Willet, but it's just like I was just there in Bardstown at the distillery. I actually went to Drew. I always butcher his last name, but Kolsveen is the owner, master distiller. We've become buddies. I went to his house. He has a cigar room. He has 5,000 cigars in his house. Oh, it's ridiculous. So we have a cigar. So we're buds now. He's coming to LA. He had some 15-year stuff. Barrel 759 for you geeks out there.
barrel number 759.
Well, this is 1200.
Okay.
This is barrel 1200. So this was this is I think 13 years old.
Okay.
So barrel 759 is 15 years old.
Okay.
And like it tastes like in the best way possible, the peanut butter from a Reese's. It's got
Fuck
this
outta here.
super nutty thing. Yeah.
Specifically Reese's peanut butter.
Specifically like candied peanut butter. You know what I mean? Like not peanut butter.
Not peanut butter on a
but
sandwich.
sweet.
Peanut butter from a bar.
If you mix peanut butter and vanilla together.
This is great.
No, it's ridiculous. And it's like over 60% alcohol.
This is so good.
I know.
I don't even like normally go hard at this stuff, but this is good.
Drew's like, he's a G. I mean, I sit there and I'm like, how do you do this? Because like everybody else does the same thing you do and your stuff's 50 times better. And he's like, I'm just really selective.
That's crazy. Is it just a refined palate?
That has a lot to do with it. I mean, knowing we could go way off the rails here, but like, I don't know. There's a magic to it. Yes, everybody in Kentucky knows how to drink whiskey.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And anybody in Kentucky who tried this barrel would be like, yeah, bottle that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But like nobody else has stuff that tastes like this.
Yeah.
It's just
What's
crazy.
your favorite distillery to visit? I don't know if I asked you that before.
I mean, Willett is my, look, I'm friends with the guy. What am I going to say? But it's also like bitching because it's I'd say it's like mid-size because a lot of them, they'll be like, we have 1 million barrels of whiskey here. It's like, what? Like
where?
Million? No, you see where. I mean, it's huge. And they're literally across the street from Heaven Hill, which is weirdly, no one knows this, a Jewish owned distillery.
Heaven Hill
is
a Jewish owned distillery.
It's not Shapiro, but it's like Shapiro or something. Anyways, but it turns out, who knew? There's a ton of Jews in the bourbon trade. They just keep it on the DL because you want to sell the Kentucky part
because they're not about that in Kentucky.
Yeah. They are though. Kentucky was a union state. They elect terrible people, but they're wonderful people.
That's very funny.
I love Kentucky. Anyways, Heaven Hill's pretty cool. The problem is the access. Like if I go to Willett, like he's like, you want to see everything? You know?
Yeah.
And then Heaven Hill, I got a killer tour. But like you're still like I want to see a little more.
Yeah, you're the plebe.
We were on a you know, and then I got the other one. I would say without question, they're all wonderful, but Buffalo Trace.
That's the only one I've done, and I thought it was the greatest place I've ever been.
It's insane, and it just keeps getting better. Like they didn't even know they had it. They discovered a fermenter from like the 1830s. Like
what?
12 of them.
Where?
It was in this like warehouse on the river that they had just been storing stuff.
So crazy.
Yeah, no, they literally have archaeologists.
One guy went down there. Hey, boss.
No, they were like,
I think we can make booze in this.
No. It was something like, we have to renovate this building because it's just so old. So they started jackhammering. I believe this is what happened. They started going through the floor, and they're like, hey, somebody cemented in 12.
No way.
So what they've done is,
was there a news story about that?
Tons
you think?
of it. Yeah, like do like Buffalo. Oh God, it's Buffalo Trace like archaeologist or something because they literally have archaeologists from the University of Kentucky there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace turns archaeologist after amazing find at distillery.
That's it. So I was there. I got to see
Holy shit, look at that.
And so one of them, this one.
Workers began digging into the current 134-year-old foundation of the building located in Frankfort, Kentucky campus. They didn't have to go too deep to discover that below the current foundation lay another foundation from the original distillery from 1873. Wow.
So one of them they're restoring, they're lining it with copper, and they're actually going to do like an antique recipe. Wow. And that's exactly what it looks like. I've stood in this spot.
That's so cool.
It's crazy. So Buffalo Trace is the one. If you're just going to go to one. And then Freddie, I think his name's Freddie Jackson. He's the greatest tour guide on planet Earth. Like his father worked there, his grandfather worked there. He's got to be like 70 something, and by the way, if you look that good at 70, like the Lord is on your side. Like he's amazing, and he's just the best. I've been lucky enough to have 2 tours from him. He's actually on the cover of like Bourbon. There's a magazine called
Bourbon magazine.
Yeah, and he's a tour guide. Like,
awesome.
He's amazing. Yeah.
That place was the best smelling place I have ever been in my entire life.
Yeah, and I would say
the sweet corn, and then the wood, and then the booze and the sugars. It was crazy.
So I would just say that like a place like Willett or a smaller one, they even smell better.
Really?
Because they do a lot of industrial vodka distilling at there and at Heaven Hill, whereas They just do sour mash and rye mash bills at places like Willet, and it's just the smell is just out of this
amazing
universe.
If I lived in the South, I would totally get married there.
Oh,
at that building across from the main building.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah, you should go back to my Instagram. Maybe.
Is it here?
Yeah.
How far I gotta go?
I
Real
post
far?
Constantly. Keep going a little bit more.
We're still at Pebble.
Yeah. Keep. Oh yeah.
You had a good Pebble.
I'll get to that. But we shot a video at Willet, or we used it for beauties anyways. But you can see how beautiful. Oh, okay.
Here's
that's Willet. Yeah.
Here's one.
Yeah, that's Drew, and there's Jethro and me.
I did a video of Buffalo Trace with the Z06. It was
nice.
A
Kentucky
Kentucky thing.
Kentucky.
Kentucky
that's
thing.
exactly. We were at.
Is that what you were doing?
We were at the Corvette Museum.
Yeah.
There we go. Boom.
Here?
That. No, not that.
Not that.
No, next one. Yeah, right there.
Here. Oh, yeah. There we go.
So that's the Willet Distillery.
Oh, the Supra Shelby deal. Yeah.
So that's
that video
gorgeous.
air yet?
No, not yet.
It didn't?
We
Okay.
just started editing it today.
Can we discuss these? Both cars are out, kind of.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I won't tell you about the video, but I can talk about the cars.
What did you think of the Supra? I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I enjoyed it. I think it's like, you know how there's like an M2, but there's also an M240. Mm-hmm. It's an M240. Mm-hmm. It's not an M2. Mm-hmm. So there needs to be one more damper setting. There needs to be a bit more X factor.
I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
I think
if someone paid $50,000 for it, they'd be happy with the product they received.
I think so. I had a guy today, and I'm gonna leave. He's probably listening and leave his name out of it. He's like, yeah, I have a 911. I have a 99. Did he say 7 or 1? 991.1. He's like, I'm going to get rid of it for a Supra. I'm like,
I wouldn't do that.
So bummed out.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. No.
I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, he's like, really? I'm like,
I wouldn't
you'd
do
be
that.
bummed out.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Z4M coupe. Like it's kind of like a newer version of that.
Yeah, exactly. It to me, it falls into a strange place though, where it's like, for the same money, you can get this Shelby. You can also get like a Camaro, like a SS1LE.
Yeah.
So it's like if it's like outright performance you want, it doesn't deliver that. If you are buying it to tune it,
because the Mustang's that's bigger. The Mustang and the Camaro's bigger too, and the Camaro feels bigger than it even is.
Yeah.
So. No. Do you disagree? Or it's very agile, but I mean literally like parking it.
Maybe GM put a chip in me or something, but to me it's like, you show me a car better than the SS1LE. Like any, I don't care what it is. Like it's just punches
it's a
so
lovely
far
car.
above its weight.
It is a lovely car.
Yeah, it's just so I'm like,
and the GT350 is a lovely car too.
The new one is amazing.
So is the new one that amazing?
So the last one, the 16. The R.
The R was the shit.
Was like as good as a GT3 of the time.
Yes.
They refreshed.
It's like that once in a generation awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The regular 350 was a great engine in a Mustang.
Yeah, totally. That's a really good sentence. No, that's a good sentence.
I've been using it for 3 years.
Yeah, it kind of is. Except for the Tremec, but I'm with you.
And now this is about as good as the R was. It's still not quite as good, but maybe if you put the carbon fiber wheels on it, then
those make a big difference.
They do.
Yeah.
But they fixed the damping, and it's like this has one of those front ends where you drive. It's like did you drive the Project 8, the Jag?
Yeah.
That front end is just like,
the end of grip. It's all the grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how the front end of this is finally. And most importantly, the front end shakes hands with the rear of the car, which I've felt independent suspension Mustangs have never done except for the R.
Yeah.
So they got
the R did it much better than all of the rest of them. Yeah.
Because to me it was always like, Mustangs, whatever, but then like there was the Boss, which was, I loved it.
Boss was fun.
I loved it.
There
was the last gen Bullet, which I thought was basically the forerunner to the Boss. It was really good. And then there was the R, and everything else was like, eh. And now this is like, ooh.
I liked the Supra's like tightness. I thought it was tight, and solid, and I liked that it did feel small, but not like too cramped.
Yeah.
I was actually one of the few people on everyone else when we got there on my wave on the launch was like, Jesus, this thing's really small, and I was like, ooh, it's small. It's like it's not some big fucking. I was excited.
It is refreshing to like not take up an entire lane because like we went to the Tail of the Dragon and like the Mustang takes up the entire lane, and it's great. But the Supra, like is really tiny, and it's just kind of cool to like be able to like make moves within
the lane.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
You know what? I do that in my 911, which is so fucking small.
It's so funny. Like I have a Civic Type R down in the parking lot. I parked next to your Honda, and like, oh my God, that Porsche is so tiny. It's shocking. Like the Honda is twice as big.
Even the Lambo, for me, is like, wow, it's actually still kind of a small car.
Yeah.
So
that's like those Bugatti, the EB110s.
Oh yeah, wait, where do we go down?
It's way up.
I'm kind of jealous. You texted me and you were like, dude, you did the thing that you do where you're like, dude, the thing. I did the thing.
I mean, so this
is the first time you ever had to go in an EB110.
Yeah. This was my buddy Chris Singh.
So remember when you told me to ask Chris Singh about the thing and then he got mad about that.
He's very mad that I'm on your show.
Wait, can you get your phone just vibrating? But then I gave him a gift though. I gave him a whole bunch of stickers via Vinny Russo, that say my other car's a Vector because he bought those Vectors.
Right.
So I gave him enough stickers to put on all of his cars that his other car is a Vector.
I'm gonna get
that doesn't
you guys
bury
together.
the hatchet. I don't understand.
You guys will become best friends.
I'm sure we would. He sounds fun.
No, he's the greatest. But
I did a thing you told me to do.
Yeah.
And it was totally innocuous, and then I found out he was mad.
Look,
what the fuck?
Let's. Anyways, the point is, so this guy, the yellow one, this is the EB110 SS. So there was an EB110 GT, which he also had, which I also drove, it was a silver one, which was like 550 horsepower and had like a lot of leather and wood. Very, very luxury, kind of like a Veyron actually.
Yeah.
And then the SS here, Super Sport, is kind of like the Veyron SS. And it was like 50 more horsepower, so 603, which remember back in 1995 was shocking.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
And I have many questions, but one of my questions is when you get to drive the back-to-back, that's how happy you are, the SS and the GT, but from 20 years ago, the differences between those cars at the time may have seemed significant. Do they seem significant when you drive those cars today, or is it fundamentally the same car?
I will answer by saying the difference in the interior was shocking, how much luxury focused the GT was versus how sporty. And even like, I feel like the shifter was different in the SS. Yeah.
Like a short throw shifter kind of deal or something?
Something like that.
Do you have interior pictures?
Nah, probably not.
Well, here's
just
Here's
look
the
at
GT.
That. Look at that. Gorgeous. Look at those wheels. I mean, come on.
That wing is awkwardly placed.
I love it. Well,
I love it for its awkwardness, but it is mildly awkwardly placed.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so you see the wood? I mean, that's like Mercedes.
Some burled up
S-Class Bentley wood. Yeah.
Who made those gauges? Are they Smiths?
I don't know. It's all
just
Italian stuff.
Wait, yeah.
But so what's my point here? My point here.
How different the difference between the SS and the GT? Interiors?
Very, very, very different, I thought.
In the driving experience as well?
But I will say also that the GT, Chris never even drove it. It just kind of showed up and no, it was he bought it and needed work and so he wanted to come to Pebble for the reveal of the the engine wasn't healthy. It wasn't revving past.
So he bought it, it arrived, he wanted to have it, and it's going to go off and do a thing.
They did some work on it, but they were like, they even told him, they're like, hey, and like the air conditioning wasn't working.
That must have been fun.
Well, what was funny was we drove the yellow one first, me and my buddy Ron. Oh, you know Ron, 777 stuff.
Oh, yeah, Ron.
Yeah.
Big fucking meathead Ron.
No, that's Anthony. Big meathead's friend. Wrong. Anthony was there. He couldn't fit, and there's no way he could have fit.
Really? It's real tight?
No, Anthony's like the size of me and you put together.
Oh,
okay. It's just like he was a linebacker for SC. He's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big dude. Anyways, so we drove the yellow one first, and I'm like, I knew one of them had bad AC, and I'm like, oh, it must be the yellow one. Then we got the other one. We're like, oh. But no, anyways.
Did the AC work in the yellow one?
I guess it did. It was, I don't know if we had it on. We were just like, we couldn't believe we were in the car. So we're driving the yellow one. Okay, so in my head, all I ever knew about this car was it had 4 turbochargers and a V12, right?
Yeah.
What I forgot was that it was like co-developed by an Italian aerospace agency. It had like a Kevlar monocoque, which is like the forerunner to carbon fiber.
Yeah.
It was like such a wonderful thing to drive. I was
really any like comparison.
It really felt like the prototype to a Veyron. It was super smooth, super like, like you drive a car from 20 years ago and it's like it's just like it's kind of squeaky and everything's loose and it needs new every suspension component. Like super tight put together. The yellow one was just like, oh my God. The steering, like, I hate saying it, but like we've really lost something by going to electric power steering and not.
Does it have power steering at all?
Yeah, but it's hydraulic, but it's like perfect. The engine, 600 horsepower is pretty laggy. Obviously 4 turbos back from the 90s. And modern cars are so quick that I showed up in a Huracan Evo Spider, which is like one of the 5 quickest cars on the planet.
Yeah, I would just house this, but
but again, this thing has no crash structure, so it's super narrow.
Yeah,
like we're talking about, you could totally use like drive in the lane. I was shocked by how well it drove. Like
did it
honestly shocked.
A quad turbo 12 is a big ass motor.
Yeah.
And so when you're like rev matching downshifts and shit, is it like a lazy engine or like a revvy engine?
Not at all. It's just that if you're like a lot of turbos, if you're below 4,000, you're just in this lag phase.
Was it happy to rev out though?
8,000.
Really?
It's a V12 with 4
turbos. But like
8,000.
But like, can you stick it at 4 to 6 in the canyons or whatever and be happy?
So I believe you could. So sadly, we were on 17-mile drive during Pebble, so complete shit show. But we had 1 or 2 like real open straightaways, and like it was like, oh shit, this is a healthy. You know what it
Back
is
in the day, how fast did this thing go?
It was quick. It was
90s maybe.
I think it was a legit 200-mile-an-hour car.
Was it? What year did this come out?
92. And then I think it was done by 95. I think that it was
the top speed of the EB110 GT.
Yeah, that's the GT.
That's the GT. 0 to 60 in 3.4.
Yeah,
and a top speed of 212 miles an hour. Fuck, the GT.
That's the GT. So the SS would do,
the SS will do. Let's find the SS.
No, it was seriously fast. I mean, these were $600,000 back in the 90s. So that's like $2 million.
Well, here's the SS. 0 to 60 in 3.14 seconds and a top speed of 220.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
No. I mean,
here's a road and track test. Okay. Well, road and track took 4.4 to get to 60 and did a quarter mile in 12.5.
Okay. Yeah.
The testers suspected the acceleration numbers could be lowered considerably using the clutch more recklessly than they did.
Enough.
That, Camisa was in here, a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And he basically was like, nobody will ever replicate a magazine test number because nobody's going to treat their car the way you actually have to treat a car to do that kind of thing.
Sure.
Pretty much.
But I still think, the top speed is the top speed.
The guy who gets to sidestep the clutch of these things to get these numbers is a fun gig.
No, it's
top speed's top speed.
But again, though, I knew it would be a lot of engine, but I thought it would just be like an old clunky piece of junk, and it was. So 2 things stood out. One, like I said, it was just this super well built, put together, tight, taut, great. The steering was beautiful. And then the other thing was, once those turbos, you're really on boil. It's like you felt like a Bentley torque where you're just like there's an
like
ocean.
surfing.
Yeah, there's this ocean behind you. You're not going to stop, and it feels great.
Yeah.
So it had that. It wasn't revvy. It was like
fun.
torquey. Yeah. So I was super blown away by those cars.
What are those things worth today? 500,
I think
600?
they just went way up. But I want to say not long ago, meaning like 2 months ago, the GT would be about $1 million.
Whoa!
And the SS would be about 2.
That is a substantial jump from the last number I heard.
Yeah, they only made, I think, like 130 cars total, and like 28 were SSs. So those are, and again, they're magnificent. Like they're not cheap or shot. They're how like a lot of weird hypercar-y type things are just like kit cars.
Fairly janky.
Like that new Stratos, for instance, like the jankiest car in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it has potential, but again, like it's the monocoque.
It
on
doesn't
these things,
really look like it's made well.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Yeah, it is. How about that?
It's and the other crazy thing is Gandini, the guy who designed the Countach, he did the original design and it wasn't good, and so they were like, fix it. And he's like, no, the maestro has spoken. Like,
I can picture him doing that.
So they had the fucking architect who made the factory.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, the architect designed the car, and he's never designed a car before or since. Yeah, and so that's why it's so unique looking.
Yeah, it is. It's an odd duck. It is not like, I don't know if it's pretty or ugly, but it's, I don't know, striking if you want to be generous.
Striking. But then, so that's all I did at Pebble was drive cool shit. Scroll up a little bit. So this fucker.
Oh,
Silver
giggity.
Sow.
The giggity.
Oh
is
my
it the
God.
same as the red one?
No, it's better.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the red one has...
So we're looking at, if you remember, folks who are listening to our stream, we're looking at the AMG sedan from back in the 60s.
68, 69.
And you've probably seen the red one, the red pig, red sow.
Rotsau.
And then this one is the silver sow.
So Rotsau, all the history is sketchy because AMG wasn't AMG. They were just a bunch of former engineers who went racing and then, held it together and made a company. Yeah, Magnus actually took that. But anyways, the very first AMG was this red sedan. It was a 6.3 that they popped up to 6.8 liters. The car was sold to Matra, of all companies, the French company.
Matra?
Yeah. And they used it to test like airplane landing gear. I have no idea.
The red one?
Yeah. And it's just gone. It was just crushed, gone to history. So Mercedes, they rebuilt this thing called the Rotsau. And when they did that, they made Silber Sow here. So, the key difference, Rotsau and the original Rotsau, Red Pig, they had Bosch mechanical fuel injection from the late 60s. This one has a 4-pack of twin-barrel Weber downdraft carburetors.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and...
Wait, let's go back to the engine photo.
Yeah, so as a result...
That probably sounds delicious.
Oh, dude, it's like... It was like waking up Monterey. Like, they pull into the hotel at like 7 in the morning, and Magnus and I are standing there, and it's just like shaking the car alarms. And... it's just badass. And so, like, it's probably 450 horsepower, and it's probably over 500 pound-feet of torque, and it's just
manual gearbox or automatic?
6-speed manual. It's a modern gearbox because
because they built it recently.
Yeah. So racing brakes, racing clutch. It's hysterical because it's stripped out. There's nothing in the interior but a roll cage and leather on the doors and an Alcantara dash for no reason. But in the back seat, there's no back seat, and there's giant holes in the floor. The thing was just...
Is it fast?
Bitching. I mean, it's awesome.
It's loud.
It kicks ass. Two problems we had. One problem is that they were late bringing it to us because they had an ignition problem, and so Magnus and I were heading up to the hills, and going in a straight line, it died. And poor Magnus had to get out and shake the coil around while I was cranking it. Got it going.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, good man, Magnus.
17 seconds later, died again. So then, he shook it again and played with the wires. Got it going. And then I was like, you know what? If we go up in the hills and this happens and we're pointed up, there's no parking brake.
Yeah, we're
doomed. We're just gonna have to I don't know what, roll the car back to a tree.
It back?
No, we got it going again and just kind of slowly went to the golf course where you see it here, and we just kind of gave it up, and then I wound up taking Seinfeld's.
That Rentec thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is everybody driving Seinfeld's Rentec around?
This is a great story. This is a.
I saw Harley was driving it. I think.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Was it
Awesome.
Harley?
Yeah.
No, it was. It was Mike Harley was driving
Harley,
it, and probably also
everybody got to go. Okay, I had it first. Anyways, what happened? All right, so here's the Spike story. So Mr. Ferenstein, because I was telling him, I'm like, they're gonna give me this car, and they're like, it belongs to a celebrity, but we don't want to say who. It's Seinfeld, but we don't know if we can say that. So I tell Spike, and we're having a cigar the night before, and he's like, oh my God, you don't even know the story of that car. So I'm going to get this all wrong, but Jerry did something for Mercedes, and in lieu of a check, they built him this car.
Okay.
So it's an E420. AMG put a 6-liter V8 in it. Rentec did everything else, including the exhaust and whatever else they did to it. It had this wacky interior, which was black with blueberry. It's the only Mercedes ever made with blueberry. And then it had white, like pre-Alcantara suede headliner. It was just bizarre.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of it. But
I might have it on
the gram.
On the gram.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's a weird color combo. I'll find it. Don't worry.
And there it is. It was probably So and then the sill plates say JS edition.
JS.
Okay. So Jerry drives a car for 10,000 miles and says, "Hey Spike, you want this thing? I'm done with it." And Spike's like, "Totally," and ships the car to California and. There's like a sticker, like some weird New York registration sticker, and Spike removes it, or Spike's guys remove it, or I don't know who to blame is, right? Without that, can't be registered anywhere in the country. But without knowing that, Spike's like, JS edition, like that's lame. I don't really want it. And also this interior's funky. There might be another post somewhere with the interior. Anyway, so he sends it back to Mr. Seinfeld, who then calls him like. And Spike's like, this is the only time in our relationship he's ever yelled at me. He's like, where the fuck is that sticker? Like, we can't do anything with the car without the sticker. Like, and so basically.
It was like a gray market Euro import or like a dollar car or something, probably.
So they were told that, it gets
whatever.
So Spike and Jerry, or somebody was told that, the car can either be crushed or mailed back to Germany. And so I don't know whatever actually happened, but the car wound up in a box sitting in Orange County for the last like 15 years.
That's hilarious.
And then they're like, oh, let's get it running. And now it's 25 years old or whatever.
And who handed it to you?
What's his face? Constantine from the Classic Center, Orange County.
Okay, so that car is at Pebble Beach representing Mercedes-Benz Classic Center?
Yeah. So then I send a picture of...
This is definitely a dollar car.
Yeah. So So I send a picture of that sill plate to Spike, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm actually headed over to Spanish Bay. He's like, dude, Jerry's going to want to see that car. Like, bring it.
Okay.
Like, all right. So I get there, and there's Spike, and there's Seinfeld walking out with Zuckerman.
My car!
Yeah. And, well, no, he looks at me. I've never met the guy before. So,
Oh, no.
And so he's like, you're Lieberman. And I'm like, yes. And then he's like, how's my car? And I'm like, we're just showing the car. And he's, it's only got 17,000 miles. And he said he put 10,000 on it. And blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, yeah, you should have a cigar with us tonight at the fire pits. And
did you?
I did, but as I told my wife, who was like freaking out with jealousy, because my wife, to go to sleep every night, listens to Seinfeld. I'm like, yeah, I sat next to Jerry for 90 minutes, and he said to me, can I borrow your lighter? And, but I was sitting next to James Marsden, so I was
he's a nice guy.
Dude, he's cool.
Yeah, I've actually had a really nice email exchange with him a couple of times.
He's the greatest.
Yeah.
He's got a new GT3 Touring.
Oh, he bought the Touring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we were debating to get the Wing or to get the Touring.
I made fun. I'm like, why do you want a circumcised Porsche? Like, come on, man. Anyway, so I made him feel bad about his car. It was great. It was
Jerry's tough. You gotta be like vetted. Like before he opens up to you.
Hey man,
he deals with a lot. I mean,
dude, he's like one of the most famous people on the planet.
When you the amount of dumb shit that I have witnessed people say in front of him is extraordinary.
Oh, we were standing there, and some guy walks up. He's like, Jerry, do you remember in 1994 on the corner of 72nd and 1st? You were eating a bagel, and he's like, yeah.
That's basically all of them.
Yeah,
that's pretty much all of them.
So
or they try and regurgitate his bits at him.
So I didn't say anything, you know what I mean? And
surreal though, isn't it?
It's just well, when he was like, "You're Lieberman," I was like,
yeah,
that's bizarre that this
the very
person knows my
first
name.
time he remembered my name, I froze.
Yeah.
When he was across the parking lot of Bill, Farrah! I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Whoa, I'm there.
It's just weird because I've seen all 10 seasons now.
Yeah,
and like it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just weird. But he was super nice. To be fair, when we were having the cigar, him and Zuckerman were just talking to each other, and me and Spike and Marsden and Schaefer were talking to each other. And Lynn Woodward showed up.
Oh, I love Lynn.
Yeah,
when
cool.
her episode of this show did extremely well. She was very popular.
She's got a cool story.
Yeah, but it's when fucking Zuckerman and Seinfeld are like going at each other, it's hysterical. It's really fun to watch.
I didn't hear any of it. I mean, we were just like, it was.
Either way, you got a good Pebble Beach story out of it.
Oh, dude.
What is the other cool shit you drove at Pebble Beach?
Diablo SV. Which we were talking about.
That was what you sent me the picture of, and you were like, dude.
So okay, I've driven.
This was after the Countach poster. This was the one where it was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
So I felt that way as a child.
Yeah.
As an adult, I drove a Countach. Your Countach.
My Countach.
I've since driven other Countaches.
You need to drive mine again because now it's better than it's ever been.
I'm sure, but still a Countach.
Yeah.
And I've driven other great Countaches. I've driven like Testarossas. I've driven Murcielagos, including an SV, and they're all like, yeah, okay, This thing was incredible. And so first of all, it's a Monterey edition SV, one of 20.
It just means it's blue.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No, there was 3 of them were blue. 2 of them are some blue. This is the only one in this blue, or this is one of 2 in this blue. I can't remember.
So if that doesn't mean it's blue, what does it mean?
I don't. Come on.
Doesn't mean anything.
I don't know. Hey, what do I know? I don't know.
Fabrizio, you watch what I'm gonna do with this plaque here. I make a 20 plaques. They say Monterey edition. We put them on the cars.
I didn't get a good picture of it because it was behind glass, but it literally says Monterey edition 1 of 20. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but it was so good. I loved it. It was healthy.
So the SV is a rear wheel drive Diablo at the time when all Diablos had been converted. Well, not converted. They went to all-wheel drive in 94.
Okay,
and then this was a 96 or 7 or 8, maybe, right? 7 or 8?
8, yeah. This is the last one with pop-up headlights. The next year was the Nissan Z headlights.
Oh, so it might be a 99, but it's
98 or 99.
Yeah,
I forget.
But this is basically
James, who owns it, told me everything. But I was like, shift, and then I don't know if you saw the video, but it was great because I was like, I got to get on it because we were on Highway 1 on a good stretch.
Yeah.
And he's like filming me and he's like, oh, you're driving it a lot harder than I would. Oh, don't crash it. And I'm like, bro, I'm insured for 10 million. Woo!
Wait, where is this video?
It's on his, it was like one of his stories. It's probably gone.
All right.
But
bro, I'm insured for 10 million is a great line.
Yeah.
Can you put that on a t-shirt? Do you know how many times I've been in various cars over the years with owners where I drive what I believe is a totally reasonable pace and they are panicked at how, quote, hard I'm driving their car.
So I want to just state for the record, James and his lovely wife, Kelly, are the nicest people on earth, but I was at 410s.
I'm sure they are.
I was doing nothing.
Yeah, no, that's and how people are who aren't us, dude.
Well, I mean, I'm sure I've told this story, but I'll never forget a friend of mine, Greg, if you're listening, hi. He's like, bro, ZR1. This is the old ZR1, the C6. He's like, you got to bring it. Because we would spend like every Hanukkah, all the families would get together. He's like, you got to bring it. I got to drive it. I have to. And I'm like, yeah, man. All right. Let him drive it. And he's like literally shifting at 3,000.
Yeah.
And
he's going flat and then shifting at 3,000.
Yeah. And he's like, oh my God. And then I'm like, let me drive it. And I'm like shifting at 7 or whatever. And he's just like,
Yeah.
And that's sort of how James, he was polite, but then like when we got out, he's like, oh, you really drove it hard.
Yeah. No.
And I don't think I did. But
that is one of the prettiest Italian cars in the last 25 years. And in Diablo lore, it's pretty much like GT and then this.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying, oh, if you like that, you should drive the GT. But I was just like, this is rad. There's one on Bring a Trailer right now for like,
is it really?
$140.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
That's
nothing.
Very low.
It looks perfect. I mean, it's Bring a Trailer, so it's like it'll be at $140, and then in 3 more days it'll be $7 million.
Yeah.
I can't even look at Bring a Trailer anymore. It's too depressing.
If 25,000 mile, that's high for an SV, and it has no stripe, sticker. But 151,000 ends in 4 days. I mean, I love it. I love it, and I love that it's
color.
It's Rosso Vic. Rosso Vic is a very deep red.
Yeah.
I love that it's got 25,000 miles on it. I bet you it runs fucking great.
It has. If it's anything like the one I drove.
How many miles were on the one you drove? Did you notice?
I didn't look. I will say it was one of the healthiest old cars I've ever driven. There was nothing. The only thing wrong with it was, of course, somebody installed some horrendous 90s like car alarm in it that was going off the whole time.
Viper, step away. Yeah. Viper, step away.
Yeah, but of course, right? Like you have to do that because
the 90s car alarm can go one of 2 ways. Because I don't know if you remember, my Countach has power doors.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that. What do you mean? What do you mean power doors?
Meaning you hit a fucking button and the doors go up, my friend.
Seriously?
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes. It was installed by the first owner in 1989.
Of course it
and
was.
it still works.
That's amazing.
And as
I don't
part
remember
of,
that at all.
Yeah, and when, because I bought the car in a major service, right? And so as part of the service, Eric at GTO were like, the door struts are like a little saggy. And I was like, all right, well, like, let's get new door struts. And he was like, okay. And then like calls me like a week later. He's like, they don't make these anymore. I was like, all right, well, what do we do? And he's like, there's a minivan strut you can buy that's exactly the same size. And I was like, perfect. He was like, but the pressure on it is like quite a bit higher than stock. And I was like, awesome, because the door poppers, so it'll like pop more aggressively. So it's so funny because it's really temperature sensitive.
Yeah.
So if it's like in the 60s, it pops kind of slow. And if I park the car in the sun, like at a Cars and Coffee for an hour, it pops so aggressively. But I can do it from like far away. Is the range is good?
Is the aggressive one gonna hurt the
No.
hinges?
No. But it just does it like whoa.
I love
very
your
funny.
Countach so much.
Yeah, you have to try it. You have to drive it again.
Yeah,
I think if you can get this Diablo for less than $250, you're buying it good.
Yeah, I like
really
I said,
nice.
it'll be $7 million in 3 days. But
It's gonna be. These things are all Diablos are undervalued, and the SV is the fucking shit.
And here's the craziest story about this. Back to Gandini.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. Please give us this one. I know where you're going with this.
Gandini designs the Diablo, the successor to the Countach, and it's not online, but I've seen a picture of the car he designed at Lee Iacocca's Tuscan Villa, and with Lee Iacocca and the whole Chrysler board looking at it, and it's just like the worst thing you've ever seen. Like, imagine if a Countach had gained 300 pounds and had like feathers hanging off of it, like so bad looking.
Is it that?
Worse than that.
Is it?
It's close to that. That's it.
This is it. That's pretty terrible.
Yeah. That's not it. That's not it. No.
Okay. Early prototype.
Yeah. I don't think it's online. They just were like, no. And so...
Oh, P147 Acosta Gandini. Yikes. That's terrible.
That's not it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, continue. Sorry.
So Tom Gale, who was a board member, was also head of Chrysler Design, designed the first Viper, designed the Dodge truck in 1994, designed the PT Cruiser, designed the Neon, like Mr. the all the cool shit. He goes back to Detroit, and again, he asked Gandini. No, it had these feather things. I can't even. You know how the Miura had the eyebrows or the lashes.
The lashes.
The Montreal had the brows. This had like feathered eyebrow.
No
it's
way.
So bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can't find it, but okay.
It's not online. It's not. I've looked.
It doesn't exist
I
on the
saw
internet.
it on Tom's laptop. So anyways, they're like, Mr. Gandini, like, we'd like you to make some changes. And again, he's like, no. The maestro has spoken. No change. So Tom goes back to Detroit and he's like, all right, boys, we're designing the next Lamborghini. And they design it in Detroit, build the tooling, and ship it to San Agata. They're like, here's your new car. And the Italians are like, okay.
and that's the Diablo.
Yeah. So actually designed by the guy who did the Viper. Pop that up.
This is the Chiseda Moroder.
He did that.
Who's the same guy.
That's Gandini.
Yeah.
So
it is said that after Gandini's concept was not taken by Lamborghini, he went off and designed this, which is called the Chiseda Moroder.
Yeah, so this is a V16, a transverse V16.
What could possibly go wrong? I think technically you can still order one of these new.
Yeah. Jethro like literally called them, and like Mr. Chiseda answered the phone. He's like 90. Like, hello. Yeah.
That would be a story.
Yeah.
Someone can. Now that you got that Discovery money, can you guys just order a Chiseda?
I'd like some Discovery.
There could be a whole series.
I know.
You could do a whole video.
Well,
here's the best thing about the Chiseda, by the way, for those of you who don't know. Check out these
pop-up lights.
Four pop-up lights.
Well, here's the other thing. The freaking EB110 factory is still there, and apparently it was like the most modern factory in the world.
Still there and unused.
Yeah.
Really?
They did the photo shoot for the EB110 tribute car inside the factory. But it's like aerospace shit. It's 20 years old aerospace, but it's like...
Oh, yeah, look at that. It's just here.
Yeah.
Abandoned Bugatti factory.
Yeah, and apparently like the tooling's there and everything's just there.
Oh, that's just so weird.
Yeah. So the story...
Isn't that strange when shit just gets completely abandoned like that?
Well, they went bankrupt, and the story was Ferrari put them out of business because the cars were were actually really good, unlike Ferraris of the mid-90s. And that Ferrari told all the suppliers, like, you give them a part, like, you'll never sell us another thing for Ferrari. And everyone just abandoned Bugatti.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And I mean, again, it's
Here's
hard
the
to
factory
stress. Yeah, look at that.
At the time.
Like, you know, look,
That blue
first
is
of
so
all,
great.
no one's on strike. Second of all, no one's smoking. Third of all, there's no tire fires. Like, pretty rare for an Italian factory.
Yeah.
No one's using a hammer. You know, like,
unbelievable.
yeah.
Here
So
you go.
it's all still there. Like, Angus went there, and he was telling me it was like incredible. Jethro went there pretty, like, maybe for the 20th anniversary, and was just blown away by how modern and incredible everything was, and completely abandoned. Just
Wild.
They just locked it and left. Yeah.
And they still own it?
I don't know who owns it. You know, because the guy, I forget his name, is this big industrialist. I think he owns the land. Or something.
Yeah, the industrialist.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
Was he? It wasn't Russian.
No,
He's Italian.
guy.
Italian.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna crucify me for this. Like Castro. No, I can't remember his name. But anyways, so yeah, it's a crazy story. All that weird '90s Italian stuff, and Vector was involved. And like, remember Lamborghini bought Vector, and they made the M12.
Did Lamborghini buy Vector?
They bought Vector.
I didn't realize
and then
that.
Chrysler, yeah, and then Chrysler sold Lamborghini and Vector to like the Indonesians, to like Suharto's son, and it was like both the cars had like terrible Chrysler parts in the interior.
I remember that. The Vector M12.
M12, and it was like
Here's the Bugatti EB110 Tribute. Did you see this in person?
nah.
This picture's doesn't do it a lot of favors.
It's not a good. First of all, the wheels are just like atrocious.
The wheel, it's got Forgiatos on it.
You know, Ron quit Forgiato. He's at Donut Media now. Yeah. But also the headlights are just like, come on now.
They actually ruined the Chiron. Chiron is a gorgeous car, and they ruined the Chiron.
Yeah. Well, but here's again. These are $9 million each.
Yeah.
They made 10 of them before anyone really saw them. They sold them all. That's 100 million buckaroos.
Beautiful
basically.
business case they've made there, isn't it?
I mean,
for doing that exact thing. Although a little birdie told me that that Ferrari may be having trouble selling all those single seat things.
Well, remember that single seat, you can order it, SP1 and SP2, Monza. You can order the Monza with 1 or 2 seats.
Yeah.
What was they were like $2 million?
Expensive.
Look, if I had the money, I would. I mean,
have you driven one?
No one's driven them, but I would. That single seater with it's basically like the V12 from the Superfast with 1 seat and no windshield. Like,
I know. I want 2 seats, I really do, but no windshield sounds great.
I don't know if I need 2 seats. Like, if you're that rich, like, just have
Fuck
1
off.
seat. Yeah. I
Maybe
love,
like a little dog bed for the past.
I just love stuff like, you know, like 3 wheels, 1 string. Like, you know what I mean? Like
The acceptable definition of numbers of things that vehicles should have.
I saw a bass online the other day. It was a 1-string bass, and I should have bought it. It was like $260 with like 85.
Designed
shipping.
that way?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to?
I don't know. It's got 1 string. I was like, that's so cool. I want that. Because there's a lot of 7-string basses, which you don't need. But
Yeah.
like a 1 string.
You're doing the 8-minute abs thing. Something about Mary. 6-minute abs.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah. I get the 812 next week.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
really excited about it.
it's Jethro sadly said it best. He said it's annoyingly really good because you want stuff that really rich guys buy to be crap. So
Yeah.
you, like, snicker at them.
Yeah.
Like,
First gen Aventador owners.
yeah, exactly. But fuck, I mean, if it's the yellow one we had, and I don't
Was
know.
it beat?
No. Well, yes, we did beat it, but like, you know, look, Ferrari press cars they're suspicious, as we all know. But my God, that car is it's the greatest engine in the world. Full
It's a
stop.
naturally aspirated 800 horsepower V12,
789 horsepower,
Yeah.
and the dual clutch Ferrari makes is actually better than PDK. People just forget to mention it, but it's like the greatest dual clutch in the world.
The 488 was certainly its equal.
Yeah,
PDK is equal.
and this is even better. And it's like the greatest. So it's not just the greatest engine currently in production, but like V12s are better than other engines because they're 12. Yeah, this is the greatest.
Because 12.
This is the greatest V12 of all time. There is no V12 nearly this good.
I'm excited.
It's
Very
annoying
excited.
how good it is. The steering is like a McLaren.
And then it's also like an everyday car too, right?
It's not. It's actually like pretty freaking loud. It's pretty uncomfortable.
Really? Oh, okay.
You know,
for a front engine car?
For the F12 was like an old man's kind of thingy.
The F12 was very civil when you wanted it to be.
Yeah, this never really. I drove it from Phoenix back to LA, and it's like, or maybe I drove it from LA to Phoenix. Either one of the two. But it's like it's not a GT. It's a sports car. It's
really?
Just
It just happens to
house.
have the engine in the front.
Yeah, I love it. If I was gonna buy a Ferrari, and I say this as a big Lusso fan, it would have to be the Superfast. It's just so good.
I'm genuinely considering buying a Ferrari, an old one.
Ooh, which
like
one?
an older one.
Which one?
Well,
this is a good topic. I have many opinions.
The problem is, if I actually talk about it, I'll probably ruin my own.
Right. No, I know.
But
so
my need to do a show outweighs.
Do you find being as influential? I don't want to call you an influencer, but as influential
there
as
might
you
be
are,
some market moving.
That you move markets?
Yeah.
Because like I've talked about this with some of my friends that buy cars that maybe we've talked about on this program, but like, yeah, it becomes
in certain
a problem.
very specific ways.
Like haven't you like destroyed like Safari values?
I once talked about a specific car I wanted to buy on the show.
Yeah.
And a fan went and bought it before I could.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and it was a Quicksilver Ford GT, and it was $179,000,
which is now a $425,000 car. Oh, good for him.
Good for that guy.
All right, so let's put a pin in this, and we'll come back to it.
No, we can talk about it after.
Okay.
By the end of this year, I will have dailied the Safari for a year, and I've been really having a lot of fun with it, but I don't want to daily it forever, and I kind of want to try dailying a Ferrari, and I want to either the easy cop out, the easy cop out's a 550.
Oh,
550s are like that's like no sacrifice even. That's like basically just a normal car.
Right.
328 is where I'm leaning though. Actually, you made a face. No. Remember, we're talking about daily driving. We're talking about the torque and the air conditioning being better are enough for me, honestly.
I can't believe a 328 would have either torque or air conditioning.
It has more of both than a 308.
Yeah. I guess the 328's okay. I thought you were going to say 550 or contemporary 355.
No, I don't. I've dipped my toe into poking around at 355s, including Joe Richardson's 355.
Was so beautiful.
It was great. Yeah. Joe's was great. He wanted a little more money than I was willing to spend. He ended up getting it. Yeah. There was no hard feelings. But his car, Joe Richardson, for those who have no idea what we're talking about, is the West Coast Ferrari PR guy.
However,
he's also a car
much more than that.
No. Yeah. He's that, but that's the relation.
He's a car crush at the car crush.
The car crush on Instagram. He drives a Delta Integrale, which I saw on your feed somewhere. Didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yeah, boom.
There it is.
Schaefer's. So, by the way, these are unprocessed photos that Schaefer just happened to pop off after a 12-hour drive to Monterey. Look at the next one.
Oh, Jesus, that's disturbingly good.
Schaefer's the best.
That light, that quality of light is extraordinary.
And he's like, I don't know if you should post these. I haven't processed them. I'm like,
they're acceptable.
Yeah. First of all, I would say this to you: why get a Ferrari when for like maybe way less than $100,000 you could get a Delta? Have you driven?
I have. Dude, I drove an Evo 2 and it was rad.
Evo 1. You get
the Evo 1's better.
Luca Venturi and Francesco. What's their company? Camisa's doing videos for.
Isimo? What is that?
It's like Latin. It's annoying because it's unpronounceable. They're a cool company.
What is it?
Yeah, it's.
I saw Camisa's working for them, but I don't know what they're doing.
They sell cars.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, they also store cars. So, like for instance, I was at they moved since I was there. But when the M8 New Stratos had its rear end off for 4 days, we were in their shop with 4 Ferrari master mechanics, like staring at it, not being able to fix anything.
So is it? Okay, so it's a dealer that also stores cars?
Yeah, so one dude had his Chiron and P1 there.
Okay.
That type of guy. Because there's a lot of Silicon Valley. Mm-hmm. They were in Redwood City. I think they are still, or they're in Sunnyvale.
Okay.
But they also, like, can sell you one of these. So what they had Francesco's car, which I'll get to that story in a second. But anyway, it was an Evo 1, but it had like the blah blah suspension, like the challenge suspension or the challenge brakes. I forget the thing. It had race suspension. Jethro was in front of me in it was a 430? 430? It was a 360 or a 430? 430. And like, not that I was 100% keeping up, but like, goddamn, was I close to actually keeping up. And Jethro's like ridiculously good
Talented.
at driving. Yeah, he's annoying. And I couldn't believe how good this freaking car was.
I'm a huge fan of these. I drove one.
Yeah.
It was fucking super great.
Yeah.
I didn't love the driving position. I wouldn't want to be stuck driving one all day every day.
Okay, see, I fit. I always forget that you're like twice as tall as I am.
The driving position wasn't great. It was fine for the go I had, but I wouldn't want to own one. But anyone who does, respect.
So according to Francesco and Luca, they were saying that like the Evo 1 is the way to go because the Evo 2s are like, they're too brutal.
Huh.
And I think this is an Evo 1.
I don't really remember if it's an Evo 1 or 2.
But look at the wing. Do you see that? It's got the
flip tail.
I love it.
Yeah,
like,
flip tail's good.
look at that. It's
Fliptail's
so
excellent.
cool.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, yellow, and that yellow is a very special, rare thing too, as well, right? Yeah, follow Joe at the Car Crush.
Yeah.
So anyway, I went to test drive his 355, and honestly, they're amazing, but they're really expensive, and the maintenance costs for me are really scary.
I don't even know what they...
Getting a really good... It's one of those ones where they're out there, but the great ones that don't need 10 grand worth of something.
Just to get in the car,
It costs a lot of money.
Like what are we like in the $500,000 range yet?
What?
I don't know. I don't know anything about them.
A 355 Ferrari? No. A great one is like $100,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
not crazy.
Not crazy.
Right.
But they need an very expensive engine out service every 3 years, which sucks. And
It's
so
like having a Citroen.
Yeah, like it's literally like those are like at this point they're like fifth cars for people who are just made of money.
Okay.
550s, 328s, they don't need engine outs.
Okay.
You can do the belt on both of them with the engine in the car.
Right.
550s, my Ferrari guy calls the Ferrari. He calls it the Ferrari Camaro. He says they're so. He's like they're so basic.
And the 550s were mostly manuals still.
Yeah, and even I would only get a manual. But
course,
yeah.
Because the 575s they had like early F1. There's some
They had F1
manuals.
mostly, and there's a couple rare manuals.
My cousin, my wealthy cousin Bob. Hey Bob, he had a 360, and I went to his house one day and there was like 48 bent valves sitting on his workbench.
Oh no!
And I'm like, well, it was like a first year 360.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what happened? He's like, I pulled first instead of third, and literally just bent like crooked fingers every single valve.
Oh my god!
And I was like,
terrible.
what's that? He's like, it was like 20 grand for the parts and 20 grand to put them in, you know. Mm-hmm. And
it's like the valve job Dave did on the Countach.
Yeah, and so those early F1s are just no bueno.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's just just not there. It's not. Yeah.
So anyway, that's where I'm at. Oh, dude.
Cool,
so look, we got a shitload of questions from people.
I'm cool on time.
All right.
I can hang around. It's only 6, by the way.
I don't want to go too far though. Too deep.
Hey man, I'm here to have fun.
All right. Yeah. We'll get through them.
Yeah.
Chris wants to know best bourbon for under $100 a bottle. Let's see. What are you recommending?
I don't even know. I just went to a Michter's dinner. Dan, the head distiller of Michter's, came out, and if you can find a bottle of Michter's that's like $99, it'll be wonderful.
Really?
Michter's.
I have a bottle of Michter's at home.
Yeah, they're pretty good. There are some that are way better than others, but there's some that like wholesale for $500 a bottle. So.
Oh, really? Well, someone brought me one as a gift. Maybe I should crack that.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. They do a lot of cool stuff that's actually expensive to make, and the best thing about them is that everything they sell is either single barrel or what they call small batch. Now, small batch has no legal definition, so if like Jim Beam says small batch, it could be 100,000 barrels make up a batch.
Yeah, relatively small.
It's like Tito's. Like
that's like I have a Honda Accord Limited. It's not limited in the way that say a Wyra is.
Yeah. No, it's like Tito's handmade vodka.
Yeah.
It's like the people that work at the Tito's factory have hands. And they make stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, but so for Michter's it means 20 barrels maximum. Actually, all the small batch is 20 barrels.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is like. To give you an example, like Macallan Scotch is 20 barrels make up a bottling. So it's very expensive to make bourbon that way.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. So yeah, Michter's, and my go-to is always Old Forester Prohibition 1920 or whatever. It says 1920.
Right.
That's like a $55, $56 bottle. That's as good as almost anything.
It's probably a little bougie, but I like Blanton's.
No, Blanton's is cheap.
Great.
Blanton's is cheap too. Blanton's is like $40 a bottle.
Is it? Did it come down? It was on the hype train for a minute, and over a period of like a year, at least by where I live, it went from like 55 to almost 80.
Okay, I mean, I know that a lot of bourbon went up. I think that we're basically in a recession right now.
We're about to be. Yeah, we're about to be.
So I'm
nervous.
On the I have no money. It's fine. Doesn't matter. I'll be the same. But on all the secondary markets that I buy, like, prices are going way down. Okay. So yeah, I think we've reached peak crazy price secondary bourbons.
All right.
Yeah.
Sam wants to know, I'm taking a trip to LA this weekend. What should I rent for some city and canyon driving? The new Boxster or a base C7? New Boxster.
Yeah. I mean,
base C7s aren't great.
Yeah, if you can get like a Stingray or even a Grand Sport,
those are tough to find, but if it's those two, I go Boxster. Henry says, "Oh, never mind."
Well, I would just say real quick, Boxster always wildly underrated. Like really,
they're fun.
Yeah,
they're fun.
Yeah, they're great.
Wilsey Z says, "I love the Evora GT's press cars green paint. Yes, paint your cars fun colors, people.
Dude,
paint the samples.
Have you been looking like on the freeways lately? Like how depressing it's like everything is grayscale. It's like white, black, or some horrible gray.
I was just driving something that was a very vibrant color. It might have been it's the Range Rover SVR in the blue, in press car blue.
Yeah.
And I found myself, I was going to a concert with Hannah, and we were in traffic, and we were surrounded by Range Rovers.
Yeah.
They were all black. They were all black.
Yeah.
Do you ever notice when you drive a Range Rover, do you become Range Rover guy? Because I'm so guilty of it.
No, but you're from New York, so I can see that. Because that's the official car of New York. It really is.
Yeah.
No, I become G-Wagon guy.
Oh, you totally become G-Wagon guy.
I just become G-Wagon guy.
Where's the picture? There's the picture of G-Wagon flying through the air.
Oh, yeah. I just posted it. Yeah,
it was here.
Posted it. Yeah, it's
best jumps. Best G-Wagon jumps by Johnny L.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good air.
Well, this one is me driving.
That's quite a lot of air.
That was this is this guy Irwin, who sadly died. That's why I was posting this, but he was the chief test driver for G-Wagon.
What an interesting job.
Oh, he was the greatest.
Yeah.
He was the greatest. He was like he was so big, it was ridiculous, and he drove these little tiny G's everywhere. It was
hilarious.
Yeah.
Andrew says, I just started working for a big 3 OEM. Congratulations. I want a fairly quick, reasonably priced sedan for my next car. Should I get an ex-police B-body Caprice Impala or save up for a Pontiac G8 GT or ATS in a stick?
I mean, it really depends which big three, because when I lived in Detroit for about 9 months, if you tried to visit GM with a Ford product, they wouldn't let you park.
They definitely get preferential parking.
Yeah.
I would recommend buying something from the company that you work for.
Yeah, that said, I would say, if you get an Impala SS, I don't know if this person has driven like a non-SS Impala, but like they're not good.
They're not good.
Yeah, G8 GTs are phenomenal. ATSs are really, really good, although they're very tiny and their infotainment's kind of weird. But also Chevy SS, if you can find a
Chevy SS is where I would lean if you can get there, or like you could go with like a Fiesta ST or like
Fiesta ST is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Although my kid now when he rides in it, he says it's too quote unquote bumpety. And bumpity, and then he pukes all over himself after like.
You can have like Randy come teach him about shock tuning.
I just he likes being in the Audi.
Bumpity,
bumpity, too bumpity, Daddy, too
fuck
bumpity.
That bumpity Fiesta noise. You're gonna have to call up KW and be like, I need coilovers. The kid says it's bumpity.
I don't want to touch it because it handles so.
No,
well.
Don't. You know what? As someone who fucked with the suspension on mine,
wrecked your car. I mean, it was quick.
No, I didn't. I didn't wreck it. I didn't wreck it. B, Most of it was Thad's decision because it was really his car.
Is what I meant. Yeah,
but he did the suspension stuff, which I wouldn't have done, and it didn't actually make the car any better. So all the engine stuff was a good idea.
Was crazy, but I got 1552 gave me those beautiful wheels.
Yeah, those are fun.
But it's like I'm looking at the car and it's like I should just drop it at a half inch, and then Jethro and Tony Angelo were like, if you fucking touch the suspension, I let them drive it on Angelo's Crafts, both of them, and they're like, if you fucking touch the suspension, we'll kill you. The car is literally perfect.
Yeah.
Don't do anything.
I touched the suspension, or Thad did, and it didn't make it better.
Yeah, and I've even had some people, I won't mention the companies, but they've like offered me stuff because I posted like, should I lower it? And Jethro and Tony were like, we'll kill you. Like, no, do not touch it.
The Cobb Stage 3 package I had for the motor and
was crazy.
Was amazing.
I drove it.
So
it was
fast.
Crazy. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
And I sold it to Charlie Baruth, Jack's wife, who sold it to someone else. And I visited it in Ohio last year, and I sold the same guy who owns my Fiesta my Focus RS. I sold it to the same dude.
Wow.
And he also had a Hellcat, and within about a month of buying my Focus RS, he traded it with the Hellcat for a Trackhawk and kept the Fiesta ST, which I actually think was the right move. Hellcat plus Focus RS equals Trackhawk.
Two-door Hellcat?
Yeah, Hellcat. A narrow body, like a 2015 Hellcat.
Yeah.
I think that's a good trade.
I think it's a good trade. I mean, Trackhawk's really, really great, but like, man, have you spent time with the Red Eye?
No.
It's like the dreamiest thing in the world.
Is it?
Although I drove a Demon.
I hear Demons are the shit.
I drove Mustos.
Yeah.
He didn't know I drove it, but I drove it. It is like the most fun you can actually have in a car. It's like driving a waterbed with 800 horsepower.
That's what he said.
Yeah, you floor it, and the front end lifts 2 feet in the air, and it leans in one direction or the other. It's the stupidest, softest suspension. The engine is so geezed up, like you just breathe on the throttle, and it's like, it's fucking insane. I laughed. I probably drove it for 20 minutes. I laughed for 20 minutes.
I need to have it going in Demon.
Dude, it's shocking.
I need to go visit Mike and drive that thing around.
Well, I think it's Pat has it
down here.
Yeah, Pat has it.
All right,
Pat
cool.
Devereaux. So,
in fact, in May, once we open it, in that case, it may come live with us for a while.
Yeah, it's like you just try and buy one.
Musto was like, I might leave something down there. I need a car in LA. I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
John says, I'm going out to college out of state. I currently daily an 84 RX-7.
Damn.
And I won't. Yeah.
Talk about a tractor.
Yeah, it's hard to wrench on campus. I can't find a shop I can trust. What should I do? Sell it.
I mean, I'm gonna assume that an 84 RX, but you're just replacing stuff like shocks and like floor pans at this point, right? I mean, like, it's so old, and I love Mazdas, but they were really cheap and made with bad metal. You know, they were. They just were. It was Russian steel or whatever. I
think that when you're in college, having reliable transportation is more important than having a cool old sports car.
However, you don't even really need a car. Like, I had a car that didn't run in college, and my girlfriend had a Toyota Camry that ran great until it got stolen and it got used in a drive-by. So check this out.
Victim or perpetrator?
It was a perp. So it turns out that 84 Camrys, if you look at them, the back of the seats have these humongo, like, quick turn screws where you can pull the seat back, and it's a perfect spot to put a gun. And they're like known to be like 30 years ago when everyone went to college.
What you need is an 84 Camry.
Yeah, they had a sunroof. They all had a sunroof, and they had a gun spot. So like you could be in the passenger seat and just stash the gun in the seat.
Wow.
And one turn, lock it, and fire out the sunroof or whatever. And so her car got stolen, and then when the cops found it, they're like, oh, it was used in a drive-by, and it was shot at. It has bullet holes in it.
Wow.
But that was what I drove in college. It was
perfect.
It was a terrible car. And then it got, we had a Falcon hit it. It was just like a bird, actually.
So this guy could decide.
Just get a girlfriend with a reliable car and keep the RX.
Perfect. Yeah. That's or get a reliable car yourself if you're not confident.
Just
in
get a
getting
girlfriend. Get a girlfriend.
David says
with a good car
that I keep saying like GTRs from the 80s feel like cars from the 2010s. I didn't say that. I said the R32 Skyline drives awfully similar to a BMW 335i. which I think it does.
Okay, I've never driven an R32.
Really?
Nah.
You're missing out.
I know.
Yeah, you are missing out there. They're really cool.
Oh, I'm sure they're phenomenal. I have a list of, I'm checking them off, but I have a list of like blind spot cars I've just missed.
Yeah.
So basically any really rare Ferrari, like I've driven every normal Ferrari.
Yeah.
But like
me too, actually.
F40, F50, 288 GTO, Enzo, just missed them. And then like all the Skylines, missed them. Just missed them.
You should go see Sean at Top Rank, and drive a Skyline for a day.
Yeah, we talk
lovely.
all the time. Yeah, I'm sure they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
yeah.
And everyone who drives one is absolutely shocked at the way they drive. Like that whole thing about them being cheater cars in video games, that wasn't bullshit. Like they really are like that. It's fucking cool. So the question was, what cars today will still feel modern in 30 years? Any hybrids or electrics? I doubt it.
918, which I know is 5 years out of production, but that'll probably still feel like that'll be what a normal sports car is like. And,
maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, 1,000 horsepower or 900 horsepower will just be like the norm.
I think it's tough to project that from now because, the one thing that keeps, when you have a manual gearbox, which you still would from 1980 to 2010s maybe, or in my comparison I did anyway, I think that's like a kind of the great equalizer, and then like the gearboxes, the automatic gearboxes, and then hybrid powertrains. Like now we're getting into computers, and now we may improve at a computer's pace, and old may not be the kind of thing that I don't know. If you remove that analog element,
it's tough to say. I mean, like, I just drove the 992 and like, oh my God, it's annoying how good it is. Like, of course.
You're allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. Of course, like Porsche made it better, but it's like
big, isn't it? It looks big in pictures.
It's like, it's the same length. I think it's like maybe 1 inch longer than a 991, 1 inch, which is, that much longer. I think it's wider, but it's the same. It's like basically the rear track's the same as like the 991 Turbo was, and the front track's just wider. But like, my God, unbelievably good car to drive. Like just like not surprising in any way. So it's basically like, the Carrera S is like basically like a 991 GTS plus a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's good. But so like that car in 30 years, I think would still be great to drive.
Probably.
And they're going to have a manual.
Yeah.
It won't be the greatest manual, but then there will be a 992 GT3, which
will have a manual.
Have you driven the 99? I hate these numbers.
The Touring?
The 991 GT3 RS.
I have.
The
I get
one.
yes. Yeah. I've driven a friend's briefly.
Okay, yeah.
And I get that the last press car, the white one.
Yeah.
I get that after Labor Day weekend.
Like
the last one.
There's no way cars are that good. Like it's but okay, so but that means somewhere in Weissach, and buddy of mine saw it, there's a GT3 that's better than that.
Right.
Which How? Like, it's just impossible.
I think those cars are like faster than I can think in some ways.
That one, and it was like, the last GT3 RS was like, it's actually not that great. You have to be like a pro driver with predictive reflexes to drive it. And now they like completely nailed it. It just puts power down.
The 720
perfectly.
For me was the magic car, where I was like, "Oh Jesus, what hath this thing brought?"
I keep telling that people that's like the best like hypercar, because it really is a hypercar.
Yeah,
like the best one I've ever driven.
181 miles an hour at Auto Club Speedway. I saw.
That's what
at the front straight.
No,
yeah,
get out.
Mobbing. I saw mostly in the mid 170s all day, and at the end, I took a big run at it and saw 181.
So you kids out there, to see above $150 on a racetrack
is rare.
I'm shocked. The fastest I ever saw was in a 918, and so I was running around with Scott Evans, my coworker at Motor Trend, and he did like 157 on the front straight. And I'm like, Scott can't beat me. So I went to the engineer, and I'm like, how do you go really fast in this car? And he's like, put it in like battery abuse mode, limp around
put it
the
in
track.
Nuclear meltdown mode. Yeah.
He's like, limp around the track at 4,000. Keep it at 4,000. That'll fully charge the battery. And when you go over turn 9, hit the red button and just hold on tight.
Yeah.
And I saw 171 on the front straight of Big Willow.
Yeah.
And Randy.
On Big Willow?
On Big
Jesus,
Willow.
that's a huge number at
No,
Big
it was.
Willow.
I almost died. I like.
And it's a huge number because you have to slow down substantially.
It was so stupid, Matt. Like,
Auto Club is a NASCAR banking corner, you only have to slow down from 180 to like 140.
No. This was like, and poor Scott was my passenger. Like, we almost completely died. However, Randy,
But we were heroes.
Yes, because we had it on GPS, and when Randy at the time set the production car lap record in that same car like 20 minutes before, he only did 170 on the front straight.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was like, but he also made turn one, whereas
Yeah, you not so much.
I made it, but like it was a lot of big braking.
Yeah.
Mr.
I
can't believe you went 181, dude.
Crazy, right?
Dude, that's
on
like,
a racetrack?
That's insane. That's insane.
Not me. That's all car. That's car.
720 is amazing.
It's the best.
It's terrifying. It's like there are.
You drive it and you go, okay, we can stop now.
You said this, and I use this example all the time, but like I think it was the first time I ever did your podcast. You were mentioning the Hennessy Venom.
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
And you kept saying like it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. And like the 720, and no one gets this because people just drive around Sunset Boulevard 2 miles an hour. But like when you go over 6,000 RPM, there's the moment before it shifts gears where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like it is so terrifying, so quick. You just like
from 6 to 85 is like Banana Town.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Mr. Someone, his question got answered earlier. What do we think about the Mustang Boss 302? We like it.
To me, second, maybe tied for second, greatest Mustang of all time.
Yeah.
I love it. If you can get the Laguna Seca, it's that much better.
I don't even remember what the differences are.
Tires, brakes, like wear
Little-
items that
okay,
are better,
yeah.
you know. And at the time, love you Ford, but all Ford brakes sucked except for the Laguna Seca package.
Yeah, remember the GT500 brakes from that year when they gave us 660 horsepower and no brakes?
664 and no brakes. Yeah,
that was bad.
It was horrible. But the Laguna Seca package.
They had good brakes.
Yeah,
okay, cool. I drove a really modified one. If Mr. Someone would like to go find my video, I drove a heavily modified one, and it was very, very good.
Nice.
Landon wants to know how my kittens are. They are great. Thank you. They are all 4 of them getting along. I have integrated old and young.
You know, 4 cats equals 1 bird.
I know.
Just so you know.
Dude, I have been really having a lot of fun with the kittens. They are
that's good.
They are great. Do you have pets?
I used to have 2 dogs. Now I have 1 dog. Knuckles the dog died, and now we have Lemmy the dog, and she's all right. She's she misses her friend, but yeah. So
How long ago?
6 months. Something like that.
Bummer.
Yeah, no, she had a heart condition and she just died.
That sucks. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
she was the best dog. Knuckles was like.
We have our 2 cats are 14. And they're both like really, really healthy, so I'm optimistic they're gonna live a long time.
Cats can go like 18, 19. That's what's horrible.
They can get to 20 if they don't go outside much.
So Knuckles was, 15 pounds maybe. So she was a little tiny thing, and little dogs live longer than big dogs. But she just one day had a heart murmur, and they're like, "Yeah, it's congestive heart failure." And she'll. But
You put her down, or
no, she just died. But But it was one of those things where they're like, yeah, she has 12 months to live, and she lived for another like 2.5 years after that.
Oh, wow. Beat the odds.
We have the greatest vet, Dr. Watanabe, if you live anywhere near Pasadena, San Marino. He's like Dr. House for dogs.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's like, seaweed. You must. Seaweed will clean the teeth, and all heart defects are from the teeth. And like, he's amazing.
Dude, I had the Dr. House of internet.
What?
Connections.
Oh, I need
the
this
guy
one.
who would come to your house and diagnose your fucking internet problems. Watching this guy work, he was like definitely on a spectrum.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
That's awesome.
But I was like, I have a fucking episode of House going on in the house.
Well,
this is fucking nuts.
That's how going to the vet was. Imagine
Yeah.
that, where he's like, like by the end of her life, Knuckles was eating like sweet potatoes. I don't know. I was
made up a crazy
I would
diet.
spend 10 hours a week cooking for the dog.
Yeah.
But she held on, and then she didn't. So.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's very
the worst.
sad.
It's the worst.
Cars. Brian says I have an M2C manual.
it's an
M2 competition
Hell
manual.
yeah,
yes.
bro. Hell yeah.
I test drove an Alfa Romeo QV and fell in love with it. I know Motor Trend had issues with theirs, but I want one.
We
Thoughts?
did. I think everyone conflates us all the time.
Car and Driver had issues with theirs.
Ours was actually really good. Just get it, man. Life is short, so you'll have a car that isn't that reliable. Big deal. You'll have one of the greatest handling stands ever made. And I love the M2 comp, but the Alpha slaughters it.
I like driving the Alpha very much.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It had some check engine lights when I had it.
Big deal.
I know.
It's so.
Wow, here's a $28,000 question for you, Johnny. Daniel wants to know, for $28,000, do I get a 2013 M5?
No.
Wow.
No.
Or an F-Type V6S convertible? Also, for the weekends. For the weekends, a $10,000 09 Z4, 06 Boxster, or Alpha Spider.
Okay, so 06 Boxster is like, if you can get
That's a bad Boxster.
No.
Oh, is it a good Boxster? What year's bad?
I think
90s is
before
bad.
that, yeah, an 06 Boxster S is probably as good as cars ever were. Like
6, what year? Oh.
That was so good. That's like when you were at Garage 419.
Okay. Oh, those were good. Those were nice.
Those were rocking good.
So wait, this guy wants to spend $28,000 on an old M5 and then another 10 on an old Porsche.
Okay.
This dude is going to be broke in 5 minutes.
So 13 M5, I think, is the twin turbo V8.
It is.
Okay. So you want the V10 because the E60. No, not the E60. What was the one after that? The F80.
F80, F10.
F10 sucks. Like, I'm sorry, it's the worst M vehicle of all.
You don't like it?
It's like driving a bank vault where the speedometer is constantly at 100 miles an hour, and you're like, what? But like think about it. You could have a V10. Like
the V10 is silly. If you could find a V10
so
manual,
good. Yeah,
V10 manual is where it's at.
Yeah, but like, yes, it's $2,500 to change the spark plugs. You have to go in knowing that. That's what it costs.
Is it really?
Yeah. Well, if you want BMW to do it, and remember, the guys that buy BMWs, they're like, what? You didn't go to a BMW dealer?
Yeah.
Like, I must kill you.
Wait, what if this guy spends $38,000 on a V10 M5 manual? Then he gets a good one.
No, a V10 manual is like $1. No one wants them. No one wants them.
Oh.
Why would you get that?
Well, someone should get that.
Or get like a E39 M5.
$38,000 gets you a great one.
The best one on the planet.
Yeah, I would do that and only get one. I wouldn't spend $38,000 into 2 cars.
I had an F-Type V6 for 6 months. Lovely car. Like, the only thing I'll say is so loud, and the V6 is like as loud as the V8.
Droney, kind of boomy.
But with none of the performance. But like, I got pulled over more. I had a V6 convertible F-Type. I got pulled over, and it was like the cops were like, I heard you. I didn't see you. I know you were breaking the law. And I'm like, what did I do? Nothing. I got pulled over constantly to get yelled at for how loud the car was. I'm like, dude, it's stock. It's stock.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Miguel wants to know thoughts on Mercedes 48-volt bouncing suspension. Gimmick or useful?
I don't know. When I'm rolling through the Del Taco drive-thru, I like to bounce.
Does it actually bounce?
Oh, yeah.
The production one bounces?
Yeah. Go to my Instagram.
Does it have a bounce mode?
Yes. It's called. It's
How
like
far do I have to go?
Up.
To make
right
it
there.
here?
Yeah. Here's 2 GLSs.
Okay, hang on. We're gonna make it bounce.
This is Brandon, our photographer.
What?
Yeah. This is
You
what
can
they
just make them fucking bounce like
Yes!
that? To the beat?
That's the hack. Someone's got to do it. So
what is the purpose of this device?
Okay, when you're stuck in sand, it does this and it gets the wheels on top of the sand.
That is awesome.
However, pause it because this noise is okay. So we're at the launch of the GLE, right? And they're showing us bouncy bounce mode, whatever it's actually called. It's like stuck sand mode. And so I go up to the engineer and I'm like, listen to me. Can you just do this? And he's like, absolutely not. You must do it in sand. And I'm like, well, what happens if I just do it in the parking lot here? And he's like, Phil, why would you do that? I'm like, because I want to.
Because I want to hit the switches, sir.
Yeah. And he's
the
like,
the most German thing is to develop that system and then go, but why would you want to do it in the parking lot?
I'm like, and this guy was like this 28-year-old, like super German nerd. I'm like, bro, you would be the most popular guy in East LA. And he's like, do they have a lot of off-roading in East LA? I'm like, no, they sure don't. Like, it was unbelievable. And not only that, you can do it while it's moving.
The fuck out of here. What's the max speed?
I don't know, but like you can. But what doesn't matter?
If you can do it at 5, that's all you want.
You do it at 5. Yeah, you go through a drive-through.
Oh my god!
No, you're sitting. I'm Matt. I'm sitting in traffic and I'm just bouncing on the 110.
Is there a limit to how much you can bounce?
No, it just goes forever and ever.
Full bounce.
Yeah. So it's a 48 volts hydraulic system. right?
Yeah.
So like,
well, I don't know why that's better. Tell me why that's better. What does that mean?
It's just more juice. So
Okay.
so back in the day, if you were to build a lowrider, you'd do like 24 volts.
Oh, you would? Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then like the Mac Daddy, the ones that like bounce 80 feet in the air, those are like 96 volt systems. But 48 volt is like severe. And then these are these crazy Mercedes built, like probably Bosch built, but anyways, hydraulic bouncy dampers that can like, I forget the numbers. It's insane the power they have.
That's awesome.
No, it's like the greatest.
What do they charge for that?
Oh, it's like $2,500 or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's like active body control or something.
Really?
And it was
it's
so
on
funny.
the GLE?
GLE and GLS. But it's so funny because the Mercedes guys were like, Johnny, don't do this. And I literally got every press car on the launch like bouncing in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And then everyone on social media is like, that's the greatest thing.
Of course.
And then they're like, yeah.
Only the Germans would like not realize that that's the best thing you could do with that.
The guy literally told me you can't do it on pavement. And I'm like, well, what would happen? He's like, the car would just bounce up and down. It wouldn't do anything. I'm like, yes.
Sir, that doesn't mean can't.
Yeah.
That means you.
Dude,
that means should.
I wish you could. I wish, like, I literally said to the guy, you'd be so popular in East LA. And he's like, do they have a lot of off-roading in East Los Angeles? It was
amazing.
Yeah,
what a cool rig.
Yeah.
Is that your friend?
So first of all, Craig Lieberman's probably like 3 years older than me.
You're not. Johnny Lieberman is not Craig Lieberman's son.
We're not related, but he's a great dude. I love Craig.
Matthew Hill, not my friend Matthew Hill, but another Matthew Hill. Is the Veloster N worth checking out if I'm in the hot hatch market? Yes.
Hell yeah.
Johnny's doing Veloster N versus Type R.
Yeah, we start that in 2 days. I love that thing. It's one of those cars that, like, I don't know why it doesn't get enough play, but like, dude,
I did a video. Go watch.
It's great for 27 grand and like 29.50.
Get the limited slip diff.
Yeah, with the performance pack.
Yeah,
like, dude, like,
they were trying to fucking do like $10,000 ADM on those things for like 6 months. I hope that has ceased, but
like they're great. You know, they're super great.
Yep. Let's see. Ooh, Derek wants to know. Good question. Without considering material fit and finish, how far do you have to go up the Porsche lineup before you get a better driving car than the 1LE?
Porsche's tough, but you're like,
the feel is so different.
Yeah, look. I'll tell this story. So we had a Huracan Performante, which is a hell of a thing. The hardtop.
They're so slow, dude.
Right. They're
problem
slow.
with them is how slow they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So we also had a 911 and like a 911 Turbo S, and we got a flat tire. And so what we wanted to do was chase the Huracan around with the 911. And we got a flat tire on the 911, and Jethro's like, well, what if we put the camera on the Camaro? I'll drive the Camaro, you drive the Lambo, and I'll try and keep up with you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's fucking smoked me. He slaughtered me. Like, and again, the Performante is mentally ill quick. Like, it's just nuts. And like, I cannot explain how good the SS1LE is.
I have a story like that too.
Yeah.
We had an SS1LE, and it was me and Mike Spinelli were doing a bit for Drive on NBC Sports.
Yeah.
And we got to shut down the 33.
Oh yeah.
And it was awesome.
Matt, that's Thursday. But go ahead.
Is it really?
Well, we do that
so
whenever we anyways,
you do it all the time.
Yeah,
well, for me, it was a treat. So we shut down the 33. Yeah. And not only did we shut it down, the cops were particularly fun that day. And they were enjoying watching us play around and whatever. And so I had a 911 Carrera manual, 9912, a turbo car.
Yeah.
Quick. Spinelli had a Camaro SS1LE.
Yeah. And you're a fast driver.
And Spinelli is fine, but I'm significantly better at driving than Spinelli.
Yes.
And I could not shake him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was on my ass the whole way up the hill.
I got one on the Z01 launch. So they launched the Camaro.
Fire.
The Z01 is a crazy car, right? It's 650 horsepower. Mm-hmm. Al Oppenheiser, who at the time was the chief engineer of Camaro,
can
fucking drive.
Can drive.
Al's behind me in an SS1LE. And I can't. We're on Angeles Crest, going like the whole way, all 63 miles of it. I can't shake him. And he stops. And I talked to him later. He's like, yeah, I just felt embarrassed because like you should have been able to get away from me. And the SS1LE, it's the perfect like balance of weight and handling and grip and power.
It is
torque.
good. As far as the front engine stuff goes, it's pretty good.
It's about as good as you get.
Where's Al?
Al is now in charge of electric GM shit.
Oh,
and so
interesting.
I talk to him all the time. We're whiskey buddies. He's got good taste in bourbon.
He's a good engineer and good,
the coolest,
good dude.
I mean, first of all, like literally is like still into Van Halen. Like half his Instagram is like Van Halen concert.
The ZL1 launch at VIR, we had a good time.
He's the best. But like he's like, yeah, I'm doing electric cars, and then you get down, and finally at the end of it, he's like, you won't believe the torque I'm dealing with. It's like you just would not believe what I'm working with. Cool. So I think it bodes well for the future of electric performance cars.
Yeah, electric performance cars are good.
Yeah, he's the best. By the way, real quick, he was the chief engineer of the Geo Metro.
No way!
Right out of college.
I always find stuff like that great. Like the dude who designed the C7 Stingray also did the Aztec. I thought that was funny.
C6.
No, the C7 too.
Was it C7?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know Wayne Cherry was head of design for both C6 and Aztec.
No, it was the guy who actually designed it.
Yeah,
who actually
okay.
penned it.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but he was a really nice guy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Johnny, my coworker Damon, says he knows you from Sonoma.
Oh my God, Damon Beebe.
Damon
Beebe. All right. So Damon Beebe is the greatest. We were like best friends. So basically, we lived together for about a year because my girlfriend and his girlfriend were roommates, and we just both slept over there every night. Damon had a Mark II GTI, and Damon would like constantly over the Richmond Bridge hit like VMAX, which is 118.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was thrilling. Yeah. So yeah, Damon's rad.
My boy Matt Crook from 1552 just got a Mark I GTI. That
I went to some of the best concerts in like world history with Damon. Like we go to Gilman Street. So Gilman Street was this little temple of punk rock. Like Green Day and Rancid came out of Gilman Street. But like Damon and I saw the Diesel Queens there, which was this like aggressively gay drag queen band that would like piss on you. I mean, unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Really aggressively.
Oh, the Diesel Queen. They had a song called Orchard Supply Hardware. It was like Orchard Supply Hardware, where a man can be a man. And it was just like, it was the best.
That is bad punk rock at its peak.
It was the best. Yeah.
I saw Billy Joe Armstrong in Hollywood yesterday, 2 days ago.
Wow.
Checking into a hotel. Randomly. Weird to see a guy like that doing a totally normal thing.
Well, what was funny was back in the day, it was like Green Day sold out, so like Gilman Street banned them, and it was a big thing. How Green Day were sellouts.
Really?
Yeah. I think they've.
I bet they're still hurting from that, huh? I think they're still feeling that one.
But I had this band, Adjective Noun, and so like. It was really performance art.
Oh my God, you're like the band from Napoleon Dynamite.
Well, kind of, but it was like why waste time thinking of a band name? Because all punk bands are like Dead Kennedys or Capitalist Casualties, Adjective Noun, when you can be smashing the system and like. Why have more than one song since all punk rock sounds the same anyways? So we
very good.
We literally had one song. And we would play it 12 times in a row.
Come on.
I swear to God.
It really was like high concept art.
And we'd play Gilman Street and we'd be like, this song's about the Amazon rainforest and how you are mad because like McDonald's is trying to cut down the rainforest. Well, let me tell you something. Like, the rainforest, the big trees, they block out the light for the little trees. It's nothing but fascist capitalism. The strong kill the weak. And McDonald's is trying to change that. And you're against it. Well, fuck you. Fuck the rainforest. Cut that shit down. Rainforest sucks.
In drop D.
No, we'd play knee. Yeah, but like it was a 37-second song, and we played Gilman. In fact, there's a book on Gilman Street, and our old singer he has a chapter in it, and it's the best because he starts off is like, "Fuck you, shit was better when we were kids."
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's the best. Anyway.
All right, I'm gonna get through a few more of these, but we got 13 minutes of show left. Once we hit like 2 hours on the live stream, the quality starts to get sketchy and occasionally like craps out, and I don't want to lose a show.
Oh, you mean the technical?
I mean literally technically. Not
I'm fired up.
No, not us. We're We're fine. Let's see. We already talked about this. We already talked about. Oh God, people are asking us about the same shit over and over.
Yeah.
Ben wants to know choices for a new daily. I've got a truck. Should I get a Cayman S? I have a truck as a second vehicle. Cayman S, Carrera S, or BMW M2.
How can that even be a question, though?
Drive them. You'll know. Okay. Drive them. Let's see. Shannon says, I'm hitting my first Radwood in Detroit. Any tips for the best Radwood experience?
I've never been.
I have one. Bring a Lamborghini Countach.
Yeah. Wait, by the way,
they'll give you a crown.
By the way, if you're going out on a date, bring your Countach.
Yeah,
if you're going to the dry cleaner, bring your Countach. If you're going to the movies, bring your Countach.
No, I mean, I don't know. Radwood, I don't think you have to do anything special. Just show up with a positive attitude and a cool car if you've got one.
I feel so bad of we did their kind of not so, it was a weird podcast together, remember?
Oh yeah, right.
But they're good dudes. I like them
No,
all.
they're great, and
I've
like,
just never been.
That's okay. You should go though. I think you would like it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I would love it.
Yeah.
My thing is I got to show up with a car. Okay, so this is Zuffenhausen 2.
Yeah.
So apparently
I'm going to that. I think.
So apparently, me and you were special guests.
We are.
I've heard,
I just said I would go.
Well, but I'm I don't own a Porsche.
Oh well, you can get one.
Well, but you can't just show up in a Porsche. You need to show up in a Porsche.
So what are you gonna get?
I'm trying to get Meredith.
What's Meredith?
The 918.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, the prototype one. Oh, yeah. Is it around?
It lives in L.A.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would be a good one.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Do that.
But so I always feel if I show up to Radwood and because I don't own anything.
No, but but you are of a caliber of journalist that has access to those museum cars and stuff.
Yes.
You could get some Honda's, got some 80s cars, Toyota does.
My problem is I also have access to the Classic Center, so I could get Silver Sound.
That's true.
Or I could get Seinfeld. Seinfeld's car would be good.
Seinfeld's car would be good, actually. That'd be a good one. Let's see where. I'm gonna skip around. Honestly, a lot of people who just want the same kind of car advice. I'm gonna skip past that.
Yeah.
We can do that on other shows. When were we going to do a reality show together, says Car Fun?
Dude, let's
Two fat Jews drinking?
We should just do a bourbon show.
We should.
Why not?
Did you see...
Or remember we were going to do a cooking show and it never happened?
We could try a cooking pilot. This one dude wants me to go to Brazil with him to look at coffee beans. And I was trying to figure out how to make that into something.
One episode?
I don't know, something.
I mean, Brazil's a tough place.
I know.
It's they have an actual fascist running the country.
I know. I'm trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
And also the Amazon's on fire.
Well,
did you see Rutledge's show?
No.
Hyperdrive on Netflix?
No.
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's American Ninja Warrior for cars, that's all.
No, I'm just I've never even seen your show.
That's okay. No, we don't watch shit.
Yeah,
no, we don't watch shit.
Yeah.
I watched Hyperdrive because it's Rutledge's, and I was I'm on the elliptical. I was like, I'll give this one, and full disclosure, I auditioned for that job, and I didn't get it, and I'm not mad. I don't care, but I think they did a good job.
So full disclosure.
Did you also?
100 years ago, no, there was a show called Top Gear USA.
Oh, yeah.
And it was hey, you did really good on the audition. And then it was hey, we found a dude who looks just like you, but he's Southern, and we want the NASCAR demographic, so we're not going with...
That's pretty... Yeah.
So
same thing happened here.
Yeah. So
with me.
So they passed on me to get Rutledge. So I'm he's the nicest guy on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
But I'm always fucking NASCAR demographic.
Look, if you just like Jesus a little more, just a little more Jesus in your life.
If Jesus just liked me a little more.
True. Let's see. No, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
Here's an easy one. For Gitman, should I put a cam in my C5?
Why
no?
not? Oh, sorry.
Because that car's already very rattly, and it'll make it even more rattly.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
I have no idea.
Ray wants to know thoughts on the Recaro seats in the Fiesta ST for a 6-foot, 250-pounder. I thought they were fine.
Look, I'm 5'10", 11, 240, and I love them. I love them. So I can't imagine 1 inch and 10 pounds makes that much difference. But I think people are always looking for a reason to buy a Prius. This is my theory, right? They're oh, I was going to buy a Camaro SS1 LE because I love performance, but the instrument binnacle was half an inch too high, so I got a Prius. You know what I mean? Like there's always, you're always looking for something.
Yeah.
And I think like they're fine. You'll totally fit. They're not Japanese spec seats or anything weird like that.
Yeah.
Like
The Focus RS ones are at a really funky angle, and the ST ones are actually better.
yeah, like drive like a RX-8, RX-3. What was that thing called?
R3?
R3.
Yeah, R3.
Like those are tight seats.
Yeah.
Those are like very uncomfortable.
They're for
Fiesta's-
Japanese people.
Yeah.
The GTR seats are actually kind of for Japanese people too, I think.
Yeah, I'm such a homer for GTRs though.
You really are.
They're fucking great.
Which is why I'm surprised you haven't driven any older Skylines.
It's just it's one of the like I had a chance at Pebble to drive a F50, which is like on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And it was one of those stupid things where I got bad info, and this thing I had to go to, they were like, try and be there by 3. And when I got there, they're like, we're not doing anything until 5:30. So like, I could have done it. This guy, Glenn, I met, nicest guy in the world, was like, drive my F50. And I was like, I got to go do this stupid other thing. And I sat there for 2.5 hours talking to a PR guy who I love to death.
But still, it was
But,
not
like,
driving an F50.
I was not driving an F50.
I know.
Yeah.
Joe wants to know, is there any reason not to install an aftermarket gated shifter in my car? Seems like an awesome mod with few downsides.
I mean, if you like missing shifts, they're great.
I think there's a little more to a gated shifter than it just being a gated shifter. It's what it's attached to, the whole rest of the car, and part of an overall experience.
Yeah, I mean, if you own a car with a gated shifter.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it.
They're good.
Yeah,
but
in its own context. I don't wish that my Ford Fiesta ST had a
Right.
gated shifter.
Because a Fiesta ST, you might actually be like trying to kick ass on a road, and like a gated shifter means you're trying to go into third, and you're like boing 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 crunch.
That's sort of true.
Like they're cool, but they're not actually good.
You can't shift very fast with them.
No, you have to be very
it's
precise.
rewarding. I think as part of an overall experience, it's cool in a Ferrari or Lamborghini or an R8.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put one in your normal car.
No.
I don't think it would actually improve the experience.
I'd like to. We should do a school where it's like, all right, here we have a Diablo SV with a gated shifter, and here we have a Civic Type R with a shifter, and all we're gonna do now is blindfold you, and you're gonna feel the difference in the shifter quality.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, the Honda's the best shifter ever made.
It actually is.
By the
Porsche GT3
Porsche
Touring.
GT3, yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
they get Ty.
Yeah.
Ty
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
to the
yeah,
runner
yeah,
there.
yeah.
This one we answered earlier in the show. What's a good East Coast bachelor party location for someone who likes whiskey? Buffalo Trace. Bourbon Trail in
Or
general.
will it? Yeah, just go to Kentucky. Just go to Kentucky, and everything there tastes better.
I'm skipping through a lot of your questions, and I appreciate a lot of your donations, but we just don't have the time. Oh, here's an interesting one. Thoughts on the Pantera GT5? Is it the poor man's Countach? Well, they're not that poor anymore.
Yeah, you're the expert here because I've only heard them. I've never actually driven one.
I drove David's car, which was a
GTS.
74 GTS that was restored to stock.
Best sounding stock car I've ever heard in my life.
It was actually fantastic.
It was incredible.
It drove really, really nice, and it was really smooth. And considering it was an American engine, it had a really small cam in it, so it felt a lot more like a European engine, which is part of the reason I've become kind of anti-big cam in American cars, because the Pantera had a Ford 351 in it. It's like
was a
the
Cleveland.
same. It's a
Cleveland
Cleveland,
V8,
yeah. But it's just like a kind of a whatever motor.
Yeah.
But with the cam and exhaust setup they use, it felt very European and exotic, and actually. Poor man's Countach, like, yeah, kinda. I mean, kind of. You got a similar driving experience, yeah.
And I think there's something to that too. When you take a small block and you shorten the shit out of the exhaust,
Yeah.
I think it's real. It's got to be just like intellectually, it's got to be great. Like,
Well,
that's-
first off, having the engine behind you means those exhaust gases aren't passing underneath you,
Right, which is
and neither
huge.
is a drive shaft,
Right.
And so you automatically have a more kind of quote European, refined feel, and then the small cam, and then the short exhaust, and you end up with something that's kind of like a Maserati Bora or a Maserati.
Marac. But we drove the other day. We drove the Superformance GT40.
Yeah.
It was a Coyote, supercharged Coyote.
Yeah.
Like nothing's better. There's
Fucking
actually
batshit.
There's actually nothing better, really. So I'm sort of like I guess I'm really excited for the C8. I really am. Like It's a 500 horsepower, for all intents and purposes, small block behind you. Like, it's just gotta kick ass.
I think it should be pretty cool. I think the base one is gonna kind of suck, and the Z51 will be good.
Well, yeah, but like the base one's gonna be 490 horsepower, and like the center of gravity is around your ankles.
Yeah,
like,
no.
How could it be bad?
Well, because I think the numbers will be there, but I think it'll be lacking in things like fit and finish and body control and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I think you want the magnetic dampers, but like I sat in the thing. I gotta tell you, dude, like, boy, fit and finish is pretty good. And I'm gonna say this here because I don't really have another platform to say it. Years ago, I'm sitting with the Corvette team. Right? And they're like, yeah, you guys are always mean to our interiors. Like, we like them. And I'm like, come here. And there was an AMG of some sort. I'm like,
yeah.
Sit here. I'm like, touch that. And they're like, well, we don't want to copy them. I'm like, all right, listen to me. Go buy like a 70s Marantz FM tuner and spin the dial that like tunes the radio station. That's American from the 70s. The freaking drive selector on the new Corvette, I swear to God, is like a Marantz thing from the 70s. That interior is actually very high. Yeah, there's that like rainbow of buttons, which...
There is a rainbow of buttons.
Which, whatever, it's unique.
That doesn't bother me.
Nah, it's not bad.
I am reserving judgment on that until I see some production cars.
But I'm just saying, I sat in the thing, you grab the steering wheel, good.
Your whole hand goes above the spoke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
But it's good. Shifters, good. The selector thing for the drive modes, which is what's important when you're driving, is like a weighted hunk of metal, like a metal hockey puck.
I can imagine what you're talking about.
It's angled. You got to see it. It's at this crazy angle. Like it's like
you got to see it.
It's not flat. Like the like Mercedes with their controller, which is a spinny. It's flat. This one's actually kind of angled how your wrist would normally sit, like your right hand.
I can get the right.
Right there. Bam, bam.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, it's kind of on a.
Yeah. It's this thing, which you can't tell. And like the gear shifty,
it's underneath the. Oh, it's basically the same as the Acura.
No, it's half the size and it's all metal. It's killer. The Acura one, the Acura is literally the same piece that's in the minivan.
Yeah.
So it's kind of okay. It's Honda.
It's fine,
but it's for 150 grand. It's kind of. This is all metal. It's actually like everything feels real good, and then right.
The thing that's like the palm pad on the right side there.
There's a spinny guy that's really high quality, like really actually high quality.
Well, look, I believe you. If you've touched it, I will believe you.
I literally sat in this car in this spot because these are all that's the
thing. Press gaggle.
Yeah. I went the day before. Fuck those unwashed mashes.
Look, we gotta wipe this down because it's fucking 2:00, and I swear to God, I don't trust the tech. We've had shows crash twice. Both were over 2 hours. What do you want to sell? Anything?
What am I selling? Nothing at the moment. Just subscribe to Motor Trend. It's really good. We have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of content. Head-to-heads, you can only see them for the most part. Actually, you can see a lot of them on our TV channel. So if you watch Motor Trend TV,
there it is.
We're there. But subscribe. There's good stuff. And like Junkyard Gold, like guys, like why aren't you watching Steve Magnante?
Oh, is that Steve Magnate's show? Nice.
Imagine just listening to Steve Magnante rant about like, it's a 231 slant 6.
I would listen to him talk about almost anything.
Yeah, he's literally like, the fifth number of the VIN is K. That means it was built by Joey in Epsilon, Michigan. I
love that guy.
And I guess just follow me on Instagram.
All right, thank you, sir. Yeah. If you need somewhere to park your shit in LA, you need to store your cars somewhere, collect a collection or just an individual car. Westside Collector Car Storage is coming this fall. It's my joint. We're moving the podcast studio over there. We have 130 indoor parking stalls for collector cars. We have the first quad stacking system over a basement anywhere in the world. We have many, many amenities.
I need a place to like smoke cigars while we podcast.
That is the thing we will have.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I don't have a cigar ventilation system in the podcast room.
Oh, you can't do an outdoor podcast. I guess you couldn't. Yeah.
I know the studio is separate, but we could have a cigar in the lounge before or after.
All right, good enough.
All right, hit us up at westsidecollectorcarstorage.com.
I gotta say, just to plug Matt shit, I've been following everything you've been doing on Instagram with this thing, the amount of like dumb shit you get, like even though it's like what did you drive the other day? You had some like ridiculously scrapey low car that didn't scrape.
Oh, GT3 RS. Or the lowered E46 M3. Yeah, it was a lowered E46.
Where I'm like, I've driven shit like that.
Yeah.
They scrape on their own shadow.
Yeah.
Right? And like, and everyone's like, oh, but.
Everyone's a contractor.
Oh my God.
Everyone's an architect.
Yeah.
Everyone's
so I just want to
contractor.
go check out that ramp.
The ramp's beautiful.
Yeah.
If you love cars and you have ever had tried to get into a driveway in Los Angeles, my ramp is amazing.
Can you do an Aventador SV?
I'll try.
Without the front end lift.
Yes, I could guarantee. I don't know if I can go dead straight, but I could guarantee. Like I got a McLaren 600 LT nose down. I got a GT3 RS 9912 nose down. I've gotten a C6 Corvette Z06.
That's actually probably the most impressive one because those are super scrapey.
The benchmark was a C7 ZR1.
Yeah,
we made a wooden buck for a C7 ZR1. Yeah, longest, lowest without hydraulic nose lift.
Right. I just Aventador SV. So I had this thing in my house, and like my driveway was probably 5 degrees. Mm-hmm. No, my neighbor's driveway, just eyeballing it. I'm like, yeah, I can put it in Bill's driveway. We literally ripped all the bolts off the thing. And I'm like, and I sent pictures to Lambo. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you have an inferior product. Like, yeah, you can blame me. I was trying to keep it off the street because, you know, it's a $500,000 car.
Yeah.
But like, it's just without the front end lift, it's useless. So
it didn't have it?
No, the press car didn't have it. And it was very Italian. It was an Italian market car. It had the death seats, which I like, but no one else likes them.
No, somebody fucked up. Someone spec'd that badly.
I loved it. But yeah, but I'd like to try an SV in low.
All right, if we can get one, I'm happy to do it.
You'll
The
probably
ramp
have
is
a
open.
client.
We probably will. Yeah. Thanks for coming by, dude. And for this
anytime.
delicious whiskey.
You know, here, I gotta tell you, this is empty, and
very good.
this is it. This is my last of
Really?
my bottle.
Well, I'm honored.
It was one of those I poured it for Pebble and never bothered to drink it, and yeah,
I'm honored.
1,200.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, baby.
Jonny Lieberman, the Smoking Tire Podcast, is sponsored by Shout Engine. Get your own. It's not sponsored by. It's just on Shout Engine. Get your own podcast at shoutengine.com. It's easy. All you need is a microphone and connection to the internet, and ideally, something to say. I'm back tomorrow live, folks. Bull Run founder Andy Duncan, who I haven't seen in 4 years, is in the building. This should be an interesting show. And then, of course, we got Jeff Zwart and Jennifer Nicole from Porsche Experience Center is going to be on the podcast Wednesday.
I saw Jeff at Pebble.
Yes, he's the man. He's going to be talking about art of racing in the rain.
He's too nice.
He's too nice indeed.
Too nice.
Too nice. Thank you, guys. See you later. Good night.